Hey everyone, welcome back to Classic DM. This is episode 8. What do we call this episode? I made a title for it. Let me just check that real quick. And sometimes you need to know in advance, what's the title of the episode? Sometimes I try to make the titles kind of capture the tone of what I think's gonna happen, but it actually hasn't happened yet, so you don't know what's really gonna happen. What do we call this one? Let's see here. Clean sweep. I think that's an appropriate name based on what's in the next few areas of the dungeon. Let's get you caught up to speed right away, okay? So, as you may remember last time, our party had gone through a very nasty battle in the lower level of the dungeon. Let's get the lights going so you can see things nice. Here's our layout from last time. We'll just put this over here for fun. There you go. And the party had come into this large room through a series of secret passages that went down to the dungeon level. They discovered the Drow Infinity Chain, which you may remember from the last episode. They're not sure what to do with it. Obscura, the illusion, still has that item in her possession. They still are convinced that they should ultimately be using this, but they don't know when and where. They had a big argument after wiping out everything in this room, which is a series of bugbears and, let's get this candle blown out. A bunch of bugbears and orcs in cages around the perimeter, and orcs manacled to some whipping posts type thing, and like an Allman Brothers song. And so they had a big argument, like, okay, what to do here? There's no hill giants here, except for this one big nasty guy here called the Keeper, who Renjar heroically one-shotted. If you want to see 128 damage done in one melee round by a level 10 assassin, that's exactly what he did. This guy was absolutely a fluke the way it worked out. Completely wonderful dice rolls on that one. So once again, kind of like in one of our earlier episodes, there's one called More Than Just Hill Giants involved. The party had to make a decision, and I try to do this with a series of rolls, because if you've been paying attention throughout the series, we've got 3 siblings from Ket, okay, which is basically Mercedes, which you see here on the screen now, and Antola, and lastly Obscura. So these are siblings of Ket. And then you have 3 other siblings from the Tiger Nomads, which include Zalaris, who's a warrior, Elafonisi, the youngest, who's a monk, Vrinjar, the very brutal assassin, and lastly, Felcherno, the druid. So they had to have a debate about what to do next. And the debate was, once again, the 3 choices. One of them was, use the chain and go further. One of them was wipe everything out in this area to see if the child is still here, because no one's really convinced 100% where the abducted child is. So they're still trying to figure that out. On one hand, they're working with their way through the complex relatively simply. They wiped out the first floor almost with ease within 4 to 5 hours of game time. In about 4 or 5 episodes, they did that. They're not really, feeling like they're up against the wall here. They're just plowing through everything relatively easily. People aren't really getting hurt too much. But their goal is to find this abducted child. They're pretty confident that the Drow are behind it. I won't go into the details, all the maps and the letters and all that kind of stuff every episode. We don't want to do that every single episode. We want to kind of get on with what to do now. But they decided to continue foraying in this area, wipe out as much stuff as they can, and see if they can get another clue that kind of tells them if the Drow are here, and the child was captured, abducted, and brought to this compound, and then handed off to the Drow, and is being moved to the glacial rift of the frost giant Jarl. How long ago was that? When did that actually happen? And is the child still here? Are Drow still here somewhere down these subterranean areas hiding out? Is there a subterranean passageway that leads to the Underdark, that leads to the frost giant Jarl? Why would they go back up to the surface and go overland through the Yatil Mountains all the way up 1,200 miles to the north to go to the glacial rift of the frost giant Jarl? Is that information that they got previously not even connected to this? The only letter that they have, which you may remember, basically said that, do not kill the child, and there's symbology and hieroglyphs on the letter. I'll pull that up for you for those of you who just wanted to see it again, haven't caught it on the Patreon page or what have you. This letter here, where they were convinced that these are images of sacrifices. This says, do not kill the child, House Ilserv, the Infinity Chain. But there's just not enough concrete evidence. It's like a detective. And the way they're trying to figure this out is they come up with a plan, and they all kind of vote on the plan. And we did a bunch of charisma rolls and a bunch of percentile rolls. And ultimately, right now, this plan is to keep checking this area out, to wipe out everything you can, maybe even find someone who's a leader down here and interrogate them. So as you remember last time, there was some pursuit down this corridor over here, and this corridor here hasn't been investigated, and this door here has been closed quietly by Vrinjar. We got a dead bugbear who almost made it to this door here. There's a double wide passageway here, and I'm going to zoom the camera out just a touch here so you can see a little bit better, because the room's a little bit bigger than this shown on screen. This area, there you go. You can see the room a little bit better now. And let me just pan that over a touch too. Let's do it this way. Okay. That's relatively decent. We can always just move this like this for you too. I want you to be able to see stuff better. That's a little bit better. A little bit more centered. Okay. So they didn't like rest or camp or anything like that. They're still kind of on the edge. You know, give it a 5-minute break. 5-minute break from the last episode. What's going to happen? Vrinjar was hot to trot to check out this door. He thought he heard the sounds. If you remember the Hill Knowledge check he had before of monkeys sleeping or gorillas or apes sleeping. The druid is basically going to stand at this passageway here and look down this way. Elafonisi decides that she's going to go back over this door and do another hear noise check at this door in case anyone tries to force this door. Zolorus is going to come over here and help her by being at hand in case this door swings open or swings in. That if anything tries to come through the door, they can jump them. Obscura's going to stay here. She's, you know, sketching on the map and making sure the player map is updated to what they've done so far, writing down some notes. They're leaving all the corpses here alone. And Mercedes is in charge, and she's very interested in being part of this, and Antilla's going to stay in the middle. So let's get a hear noise check doing with Vrinjar. We need to get his sheet up real quick so you can see it. Now remember, both the assassin and Vrinjar have the same thieving rolls, and hear noise is really low for both of them. Even though they're level 10, it's only a 30% chance. You see HN there on their character sheets, so it's not like it's a 70% chance. So he's being very quiet. Everyone else is being quiet. There's only a few torches burning. It's pretty dark down here. Let's see if he can tell what this is. He did this before, but there's been a break, and he's coming back to it again. Okay, 30% chance. 32. Wow, that's not quite good enough. He thinks there's something in here sleeping. Maybe 2, maybe 4 heavy breathing, deep guttural gorillas or apes. Not young monkeys or anything like spider monkeys. And Mercedes like, let's just kick the door in, which is what she usually likes to do. So Antola realizes that he's going to come here and do this. The druid's kind of keen on what's going on here. She says, remember, I can always befriend these animals and ask them questions. So I'm going to do a quick charisma check between Mercedes and Phil Cherna, the druid. And this check is kind of to see like who believes in more conviction of what their idea is. So Mercedes has been winning all the charisma rolls. Every time she decides she wants to do something, boss everyone around, she's been winning the rolls. So what I do is I roll her charisma or less, which is 17. If she's able to do that, 6, 7, 8, 9, and a 10, she's convinced that what she wants to do is the best thing to do. The druid's trying to convince her otherwise. It's a charisma check for her. We'll use the black. We usually use for the baddies, but we'll do a 3d6 check for her. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's a pretty even roll. But what I'm going to do, because Mercedes has been exerting her leadership more throughout the whole adventure, I'm going to give the call to her. So the druid's just going to stay on hand to see what she can do. And she whispers to Vrinjar, it's like, if there's any animals there you get in trouble, I can take care of it, no problem. And Antola's like, I think so, I agree as well. Vrinjar's going to hide in shadows. He said, let me open the door, you guys get back. So she's going to slip back here. Antola's going to creep around the corner. Let's do a hide in shadows check for Vrinjar. Remember, a room like this, I always like to talk about the lighting as if it's a computer game. There was orcs hanging from gallows here. And Obscura's going to kind of get close. She wants to be close to her buddies. So you got these torches that kind of burn. I don't know if you remember before, there's a big arch ceiling. So all the torch smoke kind of goes up a chimney like this, going up towards the camera, actually. So there's not literally a lot of light over here. So it's be very easy for him to do this, in my opinion. Let me just get this switched real quick. Make it easier for this roll. Hide and shadows for him is 68%. Let's give him a roll over here by you, okay? 32. Easily hidden in shadows. Let's do a move silently roll for him to open the door, okay? Move silently for him is MS. It's on, let's see, where we go. Open locks, MS 83. I should have made this bigger. 44. Very easily done. So he's hidden shadows and open the door, and he disappears from view. So no one knows where he is. So everyone's waiting a minute. What's happening? There's no sound. Can't even hear him walking around. But they know not to take a step, right? Okay, I'm going to tell Vrinjar to roll a d6, 3d6 for initiative roll, and something else that he's fighting, possibly, is doing a 3d6 initiative roll. This is going to be an individual roll, okay? So 6 and 4 plus his dex bonus of +2. So this is 10 plus 2. So a 12, basically. Okay. So you hear some really loud smashing and chopping sounds, and then you hear this grunt in pain, and then this muffled cry, and everyone's on edge. They're like adjusting, and Mercedes got a two-handed sword in her hand, and the cleric's getting his ready. He's got his shield ready, ready to maybe to cast a quick spell. And the druid knows what she just heard. And the Vrindra comes back out of the room, and both axes are dripping in blood. And he's like, looks like it was the keeper's room. He had a couple of guards, but I took care of them. And she looks to him, and he looks to them. Now, they've brothers and sisters. Now, he knows that she's a druid, and she likes to protect animals. But these are wicked and evil animals that are being treated, that are like pets from this guy here, who was the keeper. So for her, it's a little bit of a dilemma, but it's not a major break from what she believes in. Okay? And she knows that if her brother does something like that, it's for the benefit of everyone. So Mercedes is like, well, can we go? And he's like, sure, help yourself. So he just steps back. So what we're going to do, we're going to switch the map real quick and let everyone go into this room and check it out. And let's get rid of all these corpses first. We'll just put these over here. And we'll switch the map to this chamber here and let you see what was in there that didn't, that was basically slaughtered in its sleep. You know, if you're an assassin, well, why wake anyone up? It's not nearly as fun. It's much more challenging to try to hit somebody that can't move. Let's get these guys out of the way. And I've got that room right at hand, right over here. Yep, here we go. So we're going to do this like this. I'm just going to slip this map out and slip this map in. And then I'll adjust it so you can see it good. Because we're going to go back through that room in a moment anyway. So we're just going to put this in the middle, and I'll zoom in some for you. Put this about like this. And we'll clear this up. So who's going to go in the room? So Mercedes is going to go in the room. The druid's right here. Mercedes steps into the room. Lying on the ground here is a dead ape, and over here is a dead ape. Elafonisi and Zolars are way down this way, so you don't see them. And Tola comes in the room as well. And the Obscura comes and traipses in the rear, and the druid comes in the room and checks things out from an animal perspective. So they're in this chamber, and what we see here is up above, there's this, like almost like if you were to build a 2x4 platform above the room. If you could jump and grab up 10 feet there and pull yourself up, there's this upper deck. If you were little kids, this would be like a fun loft space to play and play video games, right? So Vrindra's going to slip in the rear, and there's one ape on the ground with its throat cut and chopped, and this one's got its head cleaved in. So there's blood on the ground. There's a dead, nasty ape here. Over here in the corner, we have a big pile of furs. Kind of looks like when the apes were up here sleeping, which has straw and some gnawed bones and things like that. When the apes were down the ground plain, jumping around with the keeper, who was this baddie here, who got slaughtered in one shot, which was one of the heroic moments of the whole adventure so far. She can tell this is where the apes used to sleep, but they're very wicked and very evil creatures, so she has no remorse for this. So Vrindra comes in the room and checks this area here. There's a shield on the wall. There's a big, long, giant-sized bed. We've got another pelt on the wall here. It looks like a pelt of an orc or some kind of a weird animal stretched wide. Mercedes comes in the room and takes a look around. There is this torch here is burning. So you got a little bit of light source here, and this torch here is burning, going over this way. Mercedes in plate, so she comes and checks this area out here. I'm going to give her a quick little intelligence check to see if she notices anything out of the ordinary. She was kind of anxious for a fight. Her intelligence is 16. That's a pretty good set of stats. She's quite smart. I mean, there's not a single stat she has that's bad, but if she rolls her intelligence or less on this dice, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, she's like, wait a minute, this loose stone here on the floor. We should check that out. So what she's going to do, let's just move this back a little bit. She comes over here and says, give me a hand with this. And Vrindra comes over, yep, you're right, absolutely. It's some kind of a loose stone, like someone has a cache. So this stone that's here, they will take the stone and lift it up and throw it on the ground over here. And inside here is like a little niche in the floor. So, you know, let's just give you a quick little fun sketch. So here's the corner of the room, like this. And here's the ceiling. And you got this big piece of tile, and you can tell that someone's taken a piece of tile, like a big tile in your bathroom, and lifted it up and set it down, and lifted it up and set it down. So when you lift this tile up and move it out of the way, you've got this little niche. It's almost like a secret compartment. But you can almost tell the edge of the corner of the tile's chipped off and everything. So it's very, very easy to tell that someone has not super well concealed this. And inside this is a whole bunch of junk. So let's just go through the junk that we have in this area, in this thing here. So Um, they find a number of pouches. They kind of look like something like this, but maybe 3 times the size of this, but not as fancy and goofy looking, full of gold coins. They find a number of crappy little gems, maybe 4 or 5 little 100 GP gems in there. There's a little earthenware jug. Now, earthenware, think of it as like a pot, like pottery. You ever seen terracotta pots at Home Depot or Lowe's? So think of a little earthenware jug that's about like this. So we're just going to draw you a little picture of a little jug, right? A little crappy sketch. Little jug like this, something that you would put candles in and light. And it's got this like wax seal and piece of string tied on it, like you're cooking it in the oven or something like that. So they got this earthenware jug, which doesn't smell like anything odd. Mercedes rifles through the rest of the stuff in here. And let's see, was there anything else of interest of there? There's just a bunch of more gems and jewelry. Remember, these kids are not into it for the gold. If you were playing this and your only goal was just to wipe everything out, you probably be quite wealthy by now. So she is no longer interested, and she steps away. Vrinjar checks the little earthenware jug out. I'm going to have him just do a basic intelligence check. And Obscura is very interested in what he's just gotten in his hand because she knows the kinds of things that she's seen before. So skill checks are something I do a lot. It's basically, that's what your character's all about. Your ability scores give you a sense of like, well, how smart they are, how fast they are, how much mental resilience they have, and things like that. So 14 is all he needs. 14 or less, and he can identify easily what this is. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So he's right under it. So it's a little potion. And he said, this is some kind of a potion, although I can't tell what kind it is. And Obscura's like, oh, really? Let me take a look at that. So she actually, hesitantly, she holds the little earthenware jug up and opens the seal on it and just takes a whiff of it by taking her, just wafting. If you ever took a chemistry class, they teach you to do that. Don't stick your nose to the jar, blow the stuff over the jar. So she takes a whiff of it, and she says, oh, it smells as pure as water. It's probably a water-breathing potion. Ding, absolutely, that's correct. So she's got herself a water-breathing potion. We're going to jog down into her inventory. So let me just give me a quick second here to grab my little DM book. I got to keep track of this stuff. You got to get one of these. They're awesome. So let's just get that jotted down for her before I forget. Bookkeeping is sometimes part of the fun. All right. So they still have the infinity chain, and they've also gained this water-breathing potion. So the rest of the party searches the rest of the room. If you were here sitting at my table playing with me, I could give you a 3d6 roll, but I'm not going to tell you why or what for or against what stat. And I'm just going to give you the answer, and the answer is basically you don't really find anything of incredible interest or merit, and there doesn't seem to be any secret passages, and none of the tricks you've seen so far seem to be in this room. So the group decided, well, let's get out of here. Looks like it was, you know, the keeper, the big, bad, half-blind, powerful hill giant that's in charge of this area as the muscle and the meat, and his 2 pet apes that were terrorizing all the orc slaves and probably bossing all the bugbears around. This is his little nest and his little bedroom, if you want to give him that much credit for it, right? So they decided to move back out of the room and go back to the previous chamber. So let's go back to that chamber real quick, and we'll switch maps. We'll be right back. And we're going to move this along pretty quickly, because when you get into combat, things slow down big time. So we'll just do it this way. Try to keep everything north for you. So every time you're looking on the screen, you're looking at one of my maps, you're seeing north. Okay, and I'll zoom this back out again. I think we got this popped in a notch. There we go. That's a little bit better. Okay, now you can see a lot more. And we'll put this down about like here. That's not too washed out with the lights, is it? Make sure this is lined up nice. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, so where is everyone? Let's put everyone back in position. We had Mercedes comes out, and you've got the druids come out too. She's going to start going down here where Elafonisi and Zalrus are. Now we can get back to the point where earlier, remember Elafonisi was going to make a hear noise check with Zalrus against the door because there was a lot of noise in here earlier, a lot of killing, but it didn't really seem to wake anyone else up. Vrinjar is actually going to hide in shadows and just keep guard on this passageway, and Obscura is going to come here in the middle with Antola. They're going to use this column as kind of like make sure no one comes at them from behind. Okay, there's all 7 of them. So let's get back over to Elafonisi and see what she's hearing behind the scenes here behind this door. If you don't remember last time, there was a very dramatic moment where there was a bugbear. He was running this way for the door, and a monk was running this way to cut him off, and she has twice his movement rate. And he barely slipped past her, but she was able to get a stun off her behind. Obscura came from behind, and I think she blinded him, so he couldn't see what was going on. It was very fun. Go back and check that out at the end of the last episode if you want to have a laugh. Those kind of improvisational moments are fun. So hear noise, 30% Elafonisi. Ready? 94. So she really can't tell anything that's going on. So Mercedes going to come trippy trotting marching down here, walking right past this door. The druid's going to come to this door and say, what about this door here? And then Tola and Obscura is just, well, yeah, that's right. And he's just going to look. He's just going to watch and see what happens. So Zala says, like, yeah, we should probably check this door out. So the druid's actually going to try to listen. This is where I do a 3d6 check against intelligence. And it's just basically like a life experience thing. So her intelligence is only 14. So I'm going to, if you're the player, roll against your dex, and I'll tell you what happens, okay? So 6, 11, plus 5 says you don't really hear much of anything. You don't hear any shuffling of feet. You don't hear any drips of water. You don't hear any torches burning. You don't really hear much of anything. And this is a really heavy iron-bound door. Unlike a lot of these other doors, like this one over here, these really thick wood doors, a big clunky hinges on it. This one over here is a big, almost double door. This is almost an 8-foot wide door. These are big, heavy hill giant style doors. These aren't your run-of-the-mill 3-foot by 6'8" doors from Home Depot, right? So we'll stop giving Home Depot accolades. They don't deserve it. So she's at this door. Mercedes comes to the door. I'm going to have her listen as well, but she's not. I mean, she's wearing plate mail. I mean, she doesn't have a helm on or anything. But she's very smart, and she's also the leader, and that's what she would do. If you had a very assertive player at your board, that's the kind of things they're going to do. She couldn't hear anything. You saw that roll, right? Sometimes I'll yank the dice away too quick. I'll try to do that. Zalris doesn't give it a chance. He's going to try to listen. And Zalris isn't the most brilliant guy in the world, but he's a good he's no dummy either. Well, that's a really good roll for him. So I'm going to tell Zalris that he hears the shuffling of feet and some torches burning, but he can't really tell anything else what's going on. And he hears an occasional clink. It's kind of like the clinking sound that you would hear if someone had something metal and it hit something else of metal and it kind of resonated for a second and then stopped. Kind of like you taking a tire iron and maybe hitting the side of a metal fence gate. That's the only description I'll give you. So they don't know what to do. They're going to talk about discuss it. Elafonisi's like, what about this area down here? She's like, I think we should take care of this first. So Zara says, well, shall we just bust the door open? The druid's going to slip around over here. And Tola's like, sure, let's go for it. Obscura is here. Everyone's gathered on the door. He's going to try to take the door and just click it and push it open. And it seems like it swings in. And it has a big ring handle on it. Oh, let's just give you a sketch, right? That's what we got the marker board for. Let's give you a sketch of the door. So you got this huge door. Huge, massive door. And remember, here's the size of a person. So here's your character standing here like this. At this huge door, right? Big iron-bound door. Iron-bound door means like made out of iron. It's got huge bolts holding reinforcing plates on. Something that you'd probably put in front of your bank vault, right? And normally doors have a big ring, but the ring on this door here, it's on this side here, as if it swings in that way. It's going to be over here. But it's got this weird lock mechanism on the bottom of it. So, and it's got maybe some additional banding going across like this. So you got this big door, and this is like you opening your front door of your house. You reach down kind of low, but this door is up front, so you have to kind of like push the door that way. So he tries to push the door open, and as soon as he pushes it, he can feel a big, heavy iron bar in like a latch set in the stone. Just go cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo. So let's just do a quick roll. I'm gonna tell everyone to roll a d6 for the whole party. Someone would be in this case we'd let Mercedes roll it. It's just a party roll for everyone in this vicinity. Okay. So nothing happens. They don't hear any additional noise. He's like, it's got some kind of a barring mechanism on it. And Elafonisi hears this. Wow, that's a nasty storm brewing outside. Mercedes like, can we force it? Let's try to force it. He goes, and she's like, let me try to pick it. She said, we could just force it. Let's give a dex roll. This is not a dex roll, charisma roll for Mercedes. Remember, she's 17. I'm not going to pull her sheet up. She's confident that we should just force the door open. So she and Zalris together go up to the door, the big heavy iron door that you see over here in the sketch. This is the ground, right? Here's the ground. And they both get up there, and they both put a lot of force and push on the door here. So I'm a nice DM. I'm like, okay, let's see. All right, I'll give you a chance. What's your Bimbar's lift gate? Zalris is 10%. Let's give him a chance to Bimbar's lift gate. 31, no way. And let's give Mercedes the same kind of thing. She's got a 10% Bimbar lift gate. 70, no. So you're both pushing, and it just goes clunk, 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 clunk. Must be one of those Schlegg's deadbolts, right? Won't budge. Made more noise. D6. Give me an initiative roll for the whole party. Okay, that's good. And they're like on edge. What's going to happen? Elafonisi says, let me try and pick it. So she moves back. The druid goes over here. She says, I don't think you're going to pick that. She says, let me just give it a try. She comes up and looks at the lock mechanism. Let's give you a close-up view of this lock mechanism. So it's not your typical, Dream Theater album cover type lock with a big hole that you stick a skeleton key in. It's this really strange lock mechanism. Let me just draw you a little sketch of it. Zoomed in really close. You got the big ring. Here's the big supporting ring that you would use to tug the door and pull it open, but you also could push the door. But directly underneath this is this slit, really long slit. And inside the slit are these little funky teeth like this. And then there's another teeth that come in like that. So you're like, what the devil kind of mechanism is that? You would need some kind of a key. This is the size of my hand. You need some kind of weird slotted key that would go like this. It's almost like you'd have to take a rod that has, you know, like my hand, take a rod that has different, and then turn it or something and pull it in. It's a very strange mechanism. So I'm so, well, you know, you've never seen a mechanism like this in your entire life. So let's just get Elafonisi's check to that. And her open locks is 77%. I'm going to say take a 50% disadvantage. And she's like, whoa, that's pretty nasty. 50% disadvantage to open this lock. You've never encountered this kind of lock in your life. The odds of you using your normal lock, human-sized lock percentage chance to open it are really, really low. So minus 50% means 27% chance to pick this lock. Okay, can she do it? Can she do it? 13. Well, okay, sorry about that. I'm going to yell into the microphone too loud. So she's futzing with the lock, and she like takes one of her tools and she puts it in like this. She's like, she gets a spring and she levels her little finger in here and gets a little knife. She hand me a dagger. Takes a dagger and she goes click, click, chink, and she pulls it back and the door just swings open. And then everyone's like, whoa, okay, nice job. She feels good about herself because remember, she's been flubbing. She's been flubbing for 8 hours straight. This is one of her best moments. I give her experience bonus for doing that. That's a really good role in opening the locks. And we got a downpour in Texas today, thank goodness. So let's move to the next room and we'll clear this area off. Don't forget to take a screenshot of this stuff, man. These are important sketches. So now you know how iron-bound doors work in this campaign, and you also see how this really weird lock mechanism doesn't look like something a hill giant would come up with, does it? So what's behind this area? So they open the door, and I'll probably zoom the camera in for you on this one. Let's turn this the way that you have. North is always to the top for you. Okay? And I'm going to put this right in the middle here. There we go. So the room you were in previously, okay? The room you were in previously is about like this, okay? But I want you to be able to see the room below, and I don't want to cover up all my junk up here on my board. So for now, time being, let's just pull people into the room. So Mercedes and Zolaris just step into the room boldly. Elafonisi comes in the rear, and they're the first three into the room. So let me give them a sense of what they see. So in this area, you have a snuffed torch, just not even smoldering, completely cold. And you get this one torch barely flickering. It's like it's almost dead. It was like it lit a day ago, and it's just barely sparking, hardly providing any light at all. Any light at all. But you can see glimmers when you open the door from here of light casting in and hitting the edge of bars. Big, tall, nasty prison bars. All the way floor to ceiling, just like this. Let's put a person in here for scale, right? So here's a person standing here, adventure with your cool shield and your cool spear on your back, whatever else kind of gear you got, and here's your foot. So you're standing here in front of these bars. They go all the way up to the ceiling, huge, nasty bars. And they seem to have some kind of like mechanism here, maybe some hinges here. Nasty, nasty bars. But you could stick your head through the bar if you were a small person, but you couldn't get your body through the holes. So the distance between the bars is probably like 6 inches, right? And these are, each one of these is a 6-inch grid, okay? So here's the size of my hand. All right, so you could get your arm to the bar like this, but you could, whoops, sorry, I banged into the camera, but you couldn't really do anything else. So you can't really escape out of there, but it's, whatever's designed to be held in there is certainly not gnomes and hobbits, right? So what do we got in this chamber? So in this hallway, we see these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 iron-bound cell cage doors, the one crappy flickering torch, and they hear shuffling almost immediately, but it's in the shadows. So over here, there's like, you can see the eyes of 2 beaten to a bloody pulp orcs. And they have their hands in the bar, and they're just kind of leaning forward and looking, and they can't really tell because they're all backlit who's coming in the door. Do they think it's somebody else? They don't really seem to get agitated or excited. It's like they're just so defeated and so tired they don't really react to it. But in this first cell here, we have a human person lying on the ground in the corner, just completely crumpled on his side. If you imagine someone just laying on their side in a fetal position, sleeping, that's what this guy is doing. So let's just get the camera a little closer so you feel like you're really there. There you go. That's a little bit better. A little blurry, but a little bit better. So he's laying in a fetal position on the ground, and then Mercedes is going to take a step forward, and Zosh is actually going to try to light this torch. And so he's just going to take a little flint and tinder kit out of his pouch and mess with the torch. So this is when a player say, I light the torch. You know, so he's going to do that. I'm not going to make a roll. Mercedes comes and checks this cage here. What does she see? The second one has the dwarven guy. And the dwarven guy's awake, and he sees you, and he's just sitting there, kind of a squatted position. And he starts going like, how are you? What are you doing here? Like that. And he's completely cognizant. He's not, but his right leg is completely mangled. So his whole right leg just looks like went into a car accident. He slid his motorcycle for a wreck, and it's all wrapped up with bandages and everything. He's in really, really bad shape. But he's really alert, and he's holding himself up with one arm. He's kind of posting on one arm. And he looks at Mercedes. She can't really understand what he's saying because he's speaking Dwarven. She doesn't speak any Dwarven. But she can tell he's speaking to her in a Dwarven language. So she says a couple things back to him in the Ket version of Common. It takes him a second, and then he speaks fluently to her through the cage. And he tries to hobble and come closer. And she's like, let me see if I can get this door open. He's like, and he says some things to her. And so what does he say? Let me get my DM book out because I got his whole NPC profile set up here. So he's like, are you from Ket? You know, I'm not going to do the accent too much. I'm not going to role play it. But he's asking her, are you from Ket? And she's like, I'm from Ket. I'm from here. I'm Prince Aiden's older sister. And he's like, oh my goodness, I can't believe it. I'm an engineer. I'm an engineer from Ket. I was a royal engineer. That was 4 years ago. I've been here, the prisoner of these filthy bastards ever since. She's like, oh really? And Zalj gets the torch lit, and he comes over, and Elafonisi just kind of creeps past them and peeks into this while this conversation is happening. And Zalris and her are trying to figure a way to open the prison door. Elafonisi go down to this next cell. So what does she see? So in here, she sees this elven girl in full gear, lying on this bed with her eyes open and just looking at her but not speaking. So Elafonisi tries to whisper something to her. So, are you okay? Do you understand what I'm saying? And she just lays there and looks at her. She doesn't say anything. And then she looks and she sees that the girl's, both of her legs have been amputated from the knees down. And they're just covered up with stubs. And she's just sitting there depressed. And when I say she has full gear on, she has she's not naked or anything. She has her armor on. She has, she doesn't have any weapons, but she has her shoulder pads and her chainmail armor on. She has pouches around her waist, but everything's been cleared out. She looks really dirty, really famished, really in bad shape. But she's just staring at Elafonisi, and she doesn't even speak back to her. So the orcs are starting to go ooh, 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 and start making noises of banging on the cage. I'm going to make the party roll 3d6 here. Okay? I want a 5 or less. Ooh, that's a 5 on the money. So the orcs start getting really excited and start banging against the cage, making a ton of noise. Well, I'm just going to do a DM check behind the scenes here and see what's going on. Gosh, these guys are lucky. So Elafonisi goes down another step, and she looks in here, and she could just have this smell, and this horrible smell, and she's not sure whether it's the orcs or what it is, but there's 3 molded corpses hunched in a corner here, like they just left there to die. It completely reeks. And as she comes this whole area here, this whole area just completely stinks. And the orcs start jumping up and down. They see her, and they're very, they would like to get their hands around her neck and kill her, but at the same time, they realize these aren't hill giants. These people aren't coming to, it's still the enemy. It's still the enemy. So they're very excited, but they kind of move back. She comes closer to them. They move back, and then she realizes there's more than just 2. There's 4 orcs, and the other 2 are just sitting on the ground, completely dejected looking. And they move back, and they're almost like talking to apes in Planet of the Apes, right? They're just like yelling at her and coming and banging against the cage, and she just looks at them. Remember, she's neutral. This is a monk. This is a stoic character. Messing and tormenting orcs in the cage, she's not interested in that. She looks back at the stinky, she turns back, looks back at her, and tries to engage in a conversation with her. Okay? I'm going to have Elafonisi to make a charisma roll with a disadvantage. Okay? So she's got to roll 15 or less. She rolls a 1. That's perfect. Perfect. So this person here speaks in broken common tongue with an elven accent, and says she's been a prisoner here for 7 or 8 years. And they wore her to the bone, and she resisted, but the Bugbears used her for sport, and they chopped her and wounded her and left her crippled like this. She says, let me out. You got to let me out. She's like, well, the big guy, the big one, the keeper, he has the key. The keeper has the key. If not him, one of the Bugbear captains has the key. You've got to get me out of here. And she's like, well, let me give you some water. So she goes and gets some supplies, and we're going to bring Untola into the room now, and the druid's going to come in as well. Now, outside, remember, we're going to put Verinjar over here, and we'll put Obscura here. This is just to imply that they're keeping guard, okay? Let's pull that a little bit so you can see. So we've got the other two are outside keeping guard, but they're not doing anything too incredible. So she gets some water. She gives her some water. She drinks some of the water. And she's just on the ground. You drag yourself on the ground when you don't have any legs. It's really nasty. And her legs are very infected. Look very, very bad. So let's go back to the conversation between the dwarf. So I'm just going to kind of distill it down. I'm not going to play act it for you because I'm not an actor. So after talking to the dwarf back and forth, and Zollars can't get the gate open, and the druid looks here, and this person here is slumped in a corner, and he doesn't seem to be reacting. He's just sleeping. He won't wake up. She can't get the gate open. These gates have the same kind of mechanism that Elafonisi picked before, but some have been filled with like tar and mud. It's almost like they've been filled with something to make it even harder to open, or grease. So he basically says, I was brought here a couple years ago. I've been helping them clear out some new passageways. They've employed the help of a number of stone giants to help them clear out some new passageways. And they have all kinds of prisoners in the area, but I'm this area here is the only place where any common normal folk are, right? No, everything else is all orcs and other kinds of bastards. And she says, and she's asking about the child, and he goes, wait a minute. He says, there was a drow party of males here 2 days ago, and they took this baby swaddled up in furs from the hill giant chief. I seen it with my own eyes because they did it in this main room. And there was a huge argument, and one of the drows got killed. And the drow took the child and vanished off into one of the passageways where these horrible manticore creatures are kept behind a cage. He said, but you got to get me out of here. I know some other ways how to get out of here, but I know they took that baby away, and they took it that way. And I haven't been over there, but I know where some of the other passages are. And there's fire giants down here at the armory. I've got some comrades down there. I'd love to get them free as well. So we're saying, this is interesting. We need to get this door open. If we can get this door open, you can help show us, okay? So she asked Elafonisi, see if you can do this lock again. So everyone's going to kind of back up and give her some room. So Elafonisi comes over to this lock. I'm going to give Elafonisi a very nasty disadvantage on this roll, okay? Minus 50%. Her open locks is 77. So what does she need? 27, 27, 27. Can she do it? 69. Nope, no way. Nope. That doesn't change. You don't get to re-roll later or anything. She can't get this lock picked. She's like, let me out, let me out. And she's not going to be able to walk. Same thing, 27%. 34. Nope, she can't get that one open either. The druid says, try this one. And she comes out here and gets a Rendra. Come in here and see if you can open this lock. So he comes in and he gives it a shot. And he talks to her and she tells him, well, this is what I did. This is how I got it to pry open, but it's kind of luck. He's like, I'll give it a shot. I'm going to drop him down to 15% chance to open it. This is very nasty, okay? 80, no. And do the same thing for this lock here. 95, excuse me, no way. Can't pick it. The mechanism's jammed. It's been messed with too much. We're going to need a key. And even if we do get a key, I'm still going to have to kind of force it to get it open. So they can't pick the lock. She gives him some water, gives him some water. We'll come back. Who has the key? Who would have the key? And he says, well, this big one-eyed one had a key. And if he didn't have a key, then there was a Bugbear chief that had a key and describes him to him. The Bugbear chief leader, his captain and his lieutenants, they have keys. I know they have keys. They only come in here once every 2 days. Every time they do, I spit on them. So they decide, listen, we'll go get the key, and we'll come back and help. You can help us, and thank you for telling us the information you know. They give them enough food and water to live through the night, and then everyone else is going to slip back out of this passageway. They say, what about the orcs? They just leave them there. And he's like, could you kill them for me? They're making a racket. Listen, we're not here to murder orcs through the cage. He's like, get rid of them for me. I can't stand it. They drive me crazy. So listen, we've got to save the child. We're not interested in killing orcs through the cage. So she comes into here and she says, Obscura, go shut that room down. So Obscura comes into here and she goes, whoosh, and casts darkness over this area. And I'm not even going to make a saving throw or anything. So she casts darkness over this entire area. Okay, and the orcs can't see. It's completely in pitch black, and it quiets them down right away. So we're going to go back outside this room and go back to the other area and see if our party can figure out what to do. Maybe they can find this key. That would be the immediate goal. But they do know a little bit more information, and they start chatting to themselves as I'm changing the map. If that dwarf is an engineer and been here a long time, and he said he saw a drow party of males here, he didn't mention a female, and that the males took the baby and they took it towards the manticore room. We know which room that is. We were just in that room. Should we go back over there and see if we've missed something? Well, the rest of them are talking to each other. So, well, you know, they did have this campfire set up there. Let's pull the camera out one notch, make sure we can see the full thing here. There we go. They had a campfire, but we don't, I mean, what did they do? Did they Did they use this infinity chain? And is there a passageway down here? How do we know there's not some passageway down here? Remember, we all agreed that we were going to search the whole complex until we found more evidence. But but we're getting more evidence. Let's get our kids back out here. So they're going to come out of this iron-bound door here and get everyone set up here. Here's Varinjar, here's Elafonisi, there's Zalaris, the druid. So they're now kind of divided into the two factions. They're having another conversation about what to do. Okay? So here's what we're going to do. Mercedes says, listen, if we can free this dwarf, he can show us exactly which way these drow went. But at the same time, the druid says, but he told us if we can find a way to free him, we at least owe him that for helping us. He said he could show us which way they went, which way these drow went. He's going to know this layout of this place better than anyone. He can help us avoid some trouble. So let's do 2 charisma checks. Most of them usually make them. All right. So for Mercedes, it's a 17 or less. 6 and 7. That's 13. Easy check for her. And let's do the druid. Her charisma's not as high, which is very wise. 15 or less. So they both firmly believe in their own argument, which means I'm going to give Antola a chance to come in here and make a decision. So here's what we're going to do. So 0 to 50 is go back and check the Manticore area. 51 to 100, look for key. Okay? They all pretty much agree. You ready? Here we go. 84, go look for the key. Seems reasonable enough. Let's clear this out. If you're going to look for the key, what's the first thing you're going to do? That bugbear was trying to get out here and go that way. Please excuse me if I keep calling them hobgoblins. Let's go over here to this door and get this door open. So he comes up to the door. It's not even locked. I can open this door quietly if you like. Zalaris just like, let me get in here. Elafonisi stands back. Mercedes comes in here. Mercedes and Varinjar come up to the door. Push the door slowly open. These two circle in here, and everyone's ready to start filtering into this door, right? So when this door swings open, like this, we have another room. And what we see behind the room is this area here. Yep. So we see a room with a number of tables, and there's tongues of bugbears sitting around with armor and weapons. They look kind of on edge, and they're looking, and when the door opens, they're all standing looking at you, and you're looking at them, and they see you, and some of them are sitting in a bed, and some of them climb out of their beds and grab their weapons, and some are at the table, and they push the table, and the flagon of beer falls over, and the cards are scattered all over the table, and in the entire town, they haven't heard anything. They've just been here talking and making a bunch of noise, and one of them in the corner has been banging on a drum, making a bunch of noise, and 2 are in the corner drunk dancing. So they've been making a bunch of noise. So switch maps, because we've got a combat sequence now. So you've walked in on a bunch of bugbear guards whooping it up at 6 o'clock in the morning. So you're starting to see a trend now at this lower level. Bugbears, bugbears, and more bugbears. And north is this way. Let's put this about like that. Let's pull it closer. Here we go. All right. Now I'm going to show you, they don't usually do this. You can't see, but this door is open, and this door is open, and this door is open all the way like this. And you could really normally, if it's a computer game, you wouldn't be able to see all this, but I'm just going to go ahead and leave this open, because here's what they see. There's a lot of bugbears in here. Okay, a lot of nasties. You got 4 guys here sitting at the table that'll leap to their feet. You got to get rid of that. We got 2 good dudes here sitting at the table. 1 guy in the bed here, 1 guy halfway in the hallway who had his back turned, 1 guy sitting here at this table who gets alerted by the sound, another guy here, 2 other jokers here. There's 1 guy standing on the doorway, there's on the standing guard here, this arched opening. It's all very well torchlit, so you can see things really well. So this is all torchlight and torch smoke coming up here, and torch smoke pulling up this way. So it's a much lower ceiling here. It's only like a 20-foot ceiling in here. It's not this big, massive arch thing. It's more of a flat ceiling with buttresses holding it up. And then as soon as you step into the room, let's get our kids on the screen. So we have Varinjar and Mercedes step into the room. Hot on their heels is going to be Zalaris and then Elafonisi. So they're basically just going to try to push into the room. And we have Obscura and, let's turn everyone this way so you can see their portraits properly. Obscura and Antola in the back, and the druid in the back. Can't quite see them, can you? So let's just pull it like this. There you go. I just move the board for you. All right, combat time. Roll for initiative. Roll for initiative for this whole room versus the party, which is this first 3 that filter through the doorway. Here's the Bugbear roll. 4, 5, 6, and 6 is 12. That's a pretty nasty roll, actually. This is Mercedes and Varenjar. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Bugbears get to go first. So the first thing they're going to do is get this chicken scratch out of the way a little bit. First thing they're going to do is confidently rush Mercedes right in the face. This guy's going to come here and filter this way. He's going to run across this way. This guy runs over to here. He comes here, and then he comes around the table. So they're choking this room. They get to go first. They're going to roll to hit on Mercedes. And let's go ahead and see what we got here. We're going to get her sheet up real quick. She's -2 armor class. Now, Bugbears only needed to 16 to hit AC 0, right? And with her armor class of -2, they need an 18. So in all these combat situations, they're going to need an 18 to hit Mercedes, and they're going to need a 17 to hit Varenjar. So let's see if these first 2 can actually nail her at all. We'll give them these 2 rolls here. Remember, they need 18 or higher. A 15 and an 18. There's 1 hit. These guys are using crappy rusty swords, so it's just 1d8 damage, longsword damage, okay? Which is going to be from over here. That's a d6. Where's our d8? Here we go. 1d8 damage. 1. That's pathetic. Just a glancing nick. So I'm going to keep on top of the board here everyone's health. Merc, -1. And let's do Varenjar over here. Okay. 2 of them take a swing. Let's say they jostle positions this way to make room for the other guy to come in. I'm not going to give him a swing yet because he's not really in range. You can't hit his friend. I'm going to give Varenjar a chance to go here and try to hit this guy from behind. So the 2 of them attacked here just with jostling a position. So it's this party's turn. So what Mercedes is going to do, she's going to try to do a 2-handed sidelong swing to hit both these guys and push them back into the room by stepping into them. So if I give her, here's how I'd run it. If you make a successful hit on this first target, in your follow-through hit will also hit the second target, and then you'll be able to push them back through. If you roll like 2 or 3 points, if you roll 5 points higher than your initial need to roll hit, you'll push them all the way back here, and they'll have to make a dex check to see if they're staggered, okay? So now, what does she need to hit AC 0? She only needs a 6. And these guys are AC 5. That means, once again, only a 1 will miss. So she rolls 6 or higher with her 2-handed weapon. She rolls a 1. It's a flub, a complete flub. So she does this 2-handed move. She swings really, really hard, and both these Bugbears just duck down in place, and then they attack her immediately. I'm actually going to give them immediately attack on her. Okay? Remember, they need to hit her. They need a 16 plus 2. They need 18s to hit her. A 1, that's a flub by the first Bugbear, and an 8. The first Bugbear will go left to right from my perspective. Let's go left to right your way. This guy takes a swing with his flail. Almost see if he almost hits his buddy. We'll do a roll to hit on his buddy at AC. They need a 16 to AC 0. They probably need a 9. If he rolls a 10 or higher, he hits his buddy. A 9, right on the money. So I said 10 or higher, but technically that would swing. So what I'm going to say happens is he slings his flail and puts his buddy out of position, just maybe glances off his shield or something like that. He'd be right-handed, so his shield would be on his left hand. So it's kind of a befuddling attack. They're just going to go back to a regular melee round. He's going to come in and take a swing at Mercedes 2. He's 18 or higher. A 2. That's not very impressive. Takes a swing at her. She just moves her body out of the way and just slams on the ground. Now, Varenjar, what is he going to do? He's just going to rush forward this guy with both axes and chop him in the face, and Zal's going to come forward and stab this guy. So I'm going to go ahead and give... they won the initial initiative, so I'm going to let the Bugbear attack Zalaris first. And I'll let the Bugbear attack Varenjar first, because I think it's fair because they won the initiative. It isn't a surprise, but it's initiative. So -2 on Varenjar. So they need a 16 to hit 0. They need an 18 to hit Varenjar. There's a 10. That's a complete miss on him. They're going to say they jostle like this, and Varenjar pushes into the room. To hit Zalaris, he's -1. They need a 16 to hit 0. That means they need a 17 to hit him. 12. That's another complete miss. Zalaris is able to push them into the room, but not far. When that kind of situation happens, like someone swings, they miss, when they regain their balance, the opponent can push you a step in, because you have to do that to maintain your defenses, okay? So now it's the second round with this. Let's give these guys a chance to move. I'm going to have Elafonisi zipping through the room at high speed. I'm actually going to have the cleric pop in the doorway, and Obscura and the druid are going to stay in the back and kind of guard the rear. So let's just start it all the way from scratch, okay? These guys are going to try to move in, but it's a choke point. They can't get in. I'm going to give this guy a chance to rush into this room. This guy comes to the doorway and looks. He comes to the doorway and looks. He can't tell what's going on. He comes rushing forward. So this group here is casing the fight. They're not involved. They know there's no reason to run to the fight. But this group here that I just marked are watching to see what's going on. What should we do? Should we get involved? We couldn't get involved. There's not enough room to get involved anyway, so they're just watching. But this guy here in the back is also kind of watching, but he can't get in there. All right, back to attacking. Remember, they needed 18 to hit Mercedes. 1, 2, 3 guys trying to hit Mercedes now, okay? Here's the first one, an 18, that's a hit. A 2, that's a miss, and let's give the third guy a swing. A 4, so it's one hit on her, and that's 1d8 damage. We'll just use this 1d8 right here. 3, that's a total of 4 damage she's taken so far. Just a flesh wound. So this is how much minus damage she's taken. And I'm going to give her a retaliatory attack. And she only on 1 will miss. Okay, only on 1 will miss on her. That's an easy hit. On small targets for her, I believe it's 1d10 plus her strength bonus and the bonus of the weapon. So it's 1d10 plus 5. It's a plus 4 two-handed, or Zweihander, which Zwei means 2 in German. And so you get the plus 4 additional, like an enhancement bonus in 2nd edition, plus 4 additional damage from the weapon itself, and you get the strength bonus at 16th strength. She doesn't have a bonus to hit for the strength. So we're going to do a 1d10. We'll just use the purple one here today. 1d10 plus 5 is 9, and I'm just going to keep track of that here in the book. Lots of bugbears. So that puts this guy down to 6. These are scrubby bugbears. And just to make sure you realize, I'm not cheating, I'm keeping score of it. So it's always fun to make sure you know that I'm not just winging it. That's what would happen. It's more fun when you play for real. Cheating isn't cool. All right, so these 3 guys attacked him. This guy's, I'm going to give Zolris a bonus to hit on this guy here because he's not actively defending against him. This guy here needs his chance to attack Zolris again. So he needs a 17 or higher. It's a 15. That's a miss. And these guys can't really get in position. It's just too much furniture and beds and junk in the way. Do you think these guys would try to jump on the beds and swing around? At this stage, if I was a bugbear, I'm seeing a woman with a human woman in nobility-oriented plate mail using a massive big two-handed sword. I'm seeing this crazy tiger nomad guy with a burning glaive, this other crazy horned helmet killing machine here, this fast-moving silken robe monk. They look wealthy, they look powerful, they look like they know what they're doing. I think these guys would not take your chances and rush forward. They may be dumb. I'm not even going to give them a roll. They're just going to wait to see if they can get a chance to replace one of their fallen comrades' attacks. Okay? So let's get Zolris' attack on this guy here. AC 5, and Zolris only needs a 1 will be the only way he could possibly miss. There's a 16, nice damage for him. And against normal sized opponents, it's a 2d8 plus 1. Now remember, the 2d8 for him kind of comes from the glaive damage plus the fire damage. So 1 is the glaive itself. 7 plus 1, which is the strength bonus, which gives him, that's an 8. And then just regular fire damage. 8 and 6 is 14. This guy drops. He's dead. He only had 15 health. The fire damage would burn him in the next round. He'd like take 1 step and just burn to death. So he's down. I'm going to allow Zolris, since he one-shotted him, to take a step forward and engage this target here the next round. Let's give Varinjar a chance to attack this guy directly in front of him. We always like to use the red D20 for him because his main hand is a -2 to hit. Remember, he's wielding 2 very nasty black axes. So Varinjar's going to need to hit what? Oops, I didn't quite switch the character. Let me switch the sheet so you can see the cool sheet. There you go. All right, to hit AC 0, he needs a 12. These guys are AC 5. A 7 or higher. Let's take the first number and -2. That's 6. That's a miss because I said 7 or higher. And a 7 even. So the offhand hits. Now the offhand with these axes isn't amazing. They're like little battle axes. There's 1d8 plus the +6 damage. Okay? That's 13. This guy's dead. Drops him. No problem. Take a step forward because he one-shotted him. He's able to take a step forward. We're going to give this guy a chance to do initiative between this, and then we're going to return after that for the next round, but we're going to return back to this combat sequence here. So these 2 guys are taking a swing at Mercedes. I need 18 or higher to hit her. There's a 19, there's a hit. There's an 18 that's hit, so there's 2 hits on her. So that's 2d8 damage total. And 10, so she's been hit again, so 10 and the 4 that she took earlier. I'm keeping track of this, so she's down 14 damage. Now when you're heavily armored fighter and you have 132 health, -14 isn't much. It's less than 10% of your life. So it's probably like a nasty cut on her forearm or something through her gauntlet. Not that big of a deal. All right, so she's going to get a retaliatory strike. She's going to once again try the two-handed sword, which I allow players to do that. If you've got a big, large weapon like that, you can do a sweeping attack. If you hit the first target, it's enough of a slicing blow or bludgeoning blow to slice the target and follow through and hit the second one. She's right-handed, so it'd go from this way to this way. So only a 1 will miss. A 19, that's very nasty, very dramatic. That weapon doesn't do a double damage hit, but she's going to nail this guy for 1d10 plus 5, and then hit the other guy for 1d10 plus 5. Let's get two 10-siders up here. Where's another one? Here's another one here. This is a percentile. Here you go. Here's two 10-siders. You ready? Each one of these is plus 5. 7 and 5. That's going to kill him flat out. This is only a 6. This guy's okay. Let me mark the health down the guy that's damaged. We got 2, 3 dead now. Dead, dead, dead. One guy down. 1 plus 5 is 6. That puts him down to 9 health. This guy's dead. Okay, cool. Just big sure keep track of that fairly. So this guy's damaged. She hits him. So there's no major position change. He can take a step forward on top of his fallen comrade. Elafonisi can step into the room. I'm going to let Elafonisi take an attack of this guy. Remember, she's a monk. She's open hand attacks with main hand and off hand. They almost happen simultaneously. Just like 2 quick left hook, right cross, bam. So what does she need to hit this guy? AC. She only needs a 9. She needs the AC 0 with a 14. These guys are AC 5. So you take the 14, take the 5 away, and that means you're only 9 or higher, okay? 10 and a 13. Now the 13 is not 5 higher, okay? The reason why that's important because 5 higher than what she needs is a stun. So she'd rolled a 14 or higher, she would stun that guy. But she does damage, which is 1d10 plus 3. Both hands do this. 6 plus 3 is 9. 9 plus 3 is 13. This guy's flattened. So he skidders across the floor, and she falls through and goes boom, 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 and he's just dead. Now Mercedes is in a position where she needs to turn and take her flank. She'll just take her two-handed sword and just jab this guy with a two-handed kind of a move. I'm not going to give this initiative roll. I'm going to have these two. He stepped over and engaged her, so that's the Mercedes go first. That's a 7. Easy hit for her. Her damage is 1d10 plus 5, if I'm not mistaken. 9 plus 5 splatters him, skewers him. She pushes back and then pulls the weapon out and slings his body onto the bed. So she's out of position like this. Elafonisi's a quick movement rate. This guy's going to take a step forward. She's going to immediately engage him. And then we'll roll for initiative again against everyone else. And let's start back over. Okay? Everyone's pushed through the first lines now. Let's get the initiative roll. For bad guys, good guys. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12. Bad guys go first. All right? Seems only fair. This guy's going to take a swipe at Elafonisi. Remember, she doesn't have the greatest armor class in the world. Not that 0 isn't good. To hit AC 0, they need a 16. So with this little sword rolls a natural 20. I'm going to give him a double damage hit on that. So it's a 1d, a 2. So it's a double damage, really nasty slice right there, or maybe her side of her arm or something. So she takes a little bit of damage, but nothing really nasty. But she only has 40 health, so she just took 2 damage. Because he did it so flawlessly, I'm actually going to give him a chance to attack again. So he's hit her and she reacts from being hit, and I'm going to give her a chance to get him a chance to hit her again. A 3 complete miss, it's out of position. She's going to immediately retaliate with 2 open fist attacks. This is a natural 20, and oh my goodness, check that out. Where's my phone? I'm taking a picture of that. Check it out, dude. 2 natural 20s on this guy. 2 natural 20s. Now remember, 5 higher is a stun. Do you want to see the stun roll? You got to look at the stun roll. You're going to have a laugh here. This is way over what it should have been. Let's use the blue die. Use the girly colors for her. That's 2, 5, 6, 7 times 6 seconds. 42 seconds of stun. There would also be a 7% chance to flat out kill him, okay, which is a old school D&D 1 rule. WB actually 8% because armor class 5 she gets 3% for her level. Let's just see if she flats out kill him, even though the damage will. No, she doesn't flat out kill him with the good old monk technique. She doesn't like shatter his heart or his ribcage or anything. Double damage on 2d10. 2d10 plus 3. Let's just roll it to see. I mean, this is some of the funnest. If I was a monk, I'd be so pleased myself. Maybe she's going to make it a turnaround here. No longer flubbing. Now 2 natural 20s are nasty. That's not the greatest of damage in the world. That was a 3. Let me pull that back. So a 3 and a 4 is 5. It actually doesn't kill him. Does it? No, it's 16. You get a picture of that. Let's take a picture of the phone. Whee! Okay, cool. So let's do the math here. 3 and 4 and 1 is 4 is doubled is 8. Okay, that's all it is. This is only half the guy's life. He's still there. That's a really nasty hit, but maybe it's just like blows to the stomach or something. The natural 20 would be double damage. So double damage on a 4 isn't that amazing. Actually, that's not right. Is that not right? No, it's 1d10 plus 3, isn't it? Okay, let's do the math here. I'm going too fast. This is 1d10 plus 3. That's actually a 4. This is 3 plus 3 is 6. That's a total of 10 times 2 is 20. Yeah, he is dead. Math is hard. Very heroic. If I was a monk, that'd be gratifying, especially when I got 40 health. Okay, so this guy's slaughtered. In fact, she hit him so badly that she's able to take a step forward, and I'm actually going to allow her, with her confidence, to engage this guy and catch him before he can even do anything. I'm just going to let her immediately engage him in combat and then take a swing at him. Let's get these dice slid over a little bit. So, to hit him, she needs a 14. Excuse me, she only needs a 9. But there's a 1. That's a flub, and there's a 5. That's too low. So she comes in, does 2 massive swings. Let's say this is the left hook followed by a right cross. The left hook puts her out of position. She does the right cross. It doesn't miss. It misses completely. So she's out of position to the side. I'm going to let the Bugbear take a swipe at her, take away 2 from her armor class, make her AC 2. That means they only need a 14 to hit her. A 1. So he tries to hit her with his Morning Star and completely whiffs, and she gains her balance and lands here. I'm actually going to give her a dex check to make sure she doesn't fall on the ground. Her dexterity is pretty decent. What does she got for dex? 17. Yeah, she's fine with that. She regains her composure, regains her balance. Let's do a dex check for him. Let's say he has 10. You got to roll 10 or less. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. He loses his balance. He tries to hit her. He loses balance and stumbles this way. Let's go ahead and finish this combat because this one's pretty exciting. She gets 2 chances to hit him. He's flat-footed. I'm going to give her a bonus of 2. So she normally needs a 14 minus the 5 armor class is down to 9. Give her a bonus of 2. 7 or higher on either roll. And because of that bonus, if either one of these rolls is 12 or higher, he'd be stunned. There's a 15 that's a stun. This guy's dead. He's not going to live through this. How long is a stun? 5 times 5 segments is 30 seconds. 30-second stun, this guy, he's slaughtered. Now, this is the guy in the doorway. Things aren't going so good. These guys that are watching, let's give them a morale check, okay? Because Bugbears don't usually get slaughtered so quickly. And then we'll deal with this fight over here, and then we'll move this way. But I want to see if these guys, they just watched with the monk went boom, 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 kill this guy, ran forward, hit him, swinged out of the way, and then she go boom, boom, killed him. She basically wiped these 2 guys out basically in about 7 or 8 seconds. 6 punches, and these 2 guys are dead. That would be terrifying. Now, how to handle this? These guys are dumb, okay? They need to roll, I'm going to give them 7 intelligence. They need to roll 7 or less on 3d6 to be brave enough to know to go run for the guards, okay? Well, actually, we're not doing intelligence. We're doing a morale check. So you got to roll your intelligence or higher to not run away in fear. That seems fair, doesn't it? Kind of a made-up rule on the spot. They don't have morale checks really in the game, but in Squad Leader they do. So let's do it this way. So you got to roll 7 or higher on 3d6 to not flee. Nope. Nope. These guys are booking it out here. Get out of here, run for it, go get friends. So these guys start running away. Now, she has a 24 movement rate, but I'm going to stop with this sequence right here. They've just turned to flee. They've taken 2 steps. She's taken 1 step. We need to resolve this combat here. So let's go do this next, okay? And I've forgotten where the rotation was in the combat sequence. So I'm going to roll for initiative for the rest of the whole party versus the one guy. So here's the one guy's initiative roll. Okay, that's a 9 and 1 is a 10. And let's just give a general roll for these 3. 5, 5, 10, 11. So they win initiative. So Vrinjar gets to go first. And let's get his sheet up again. And I always like to use the red D20 for his main hand attack. Those aren't rolls. I'm just setting it down. I always take 2 off of this. So to hit AC 5, he needs a 7, but you take 2 off this one. That's a 1. It's a complete flub. No matter what, that's very bad. And a natural 20. So 1 acts completely flubs. I'm going to make him make a dex check, see how off balance he is. His dexterity is 17. You got to roll your dexterity or less on 3d6. Okay, he rolls that just fine. It's a complete flub. So here's what I'm going to rule. So you swing with your left hand. It swings so wide, you're so off balance. I'm going to let the other guy take a swipe at you. But then the second axe is going to come in and just double hit this guy. Okay, so let's give him a chance to hit him. 16, 17, 18. He's at 18 to hit him. Nope, he completely misses. Now let's do that damage. It's 1d8 plus 6. That's a 10-sider. Let's get these dice over here. All the dice are gradually being moved onto the board. 1d8 plus 6. That's a 9. That doesn't kill him. He was damaged previously, though, wasn't he? Nope, that is damage. He is dead. That right-hand hit is enough to kill him. Zoller's able to take a step forward. Let's get this dice out of the way. Now we got the rest of the group here. So Mercedes like, don't let them get away. She comes rushing forward. Zollers books it into high speed. 24 movement rate. 1, 2, 3, 4. She'd easily be able to catch this guy from behind, but she can try to run past him and then cut in front of these 2 here. So here's how I'm going to rule on this. Because one rule that's really weird is in the first edition is this. They have movement rates by melee round. So the monk's movement rate, they call it 24 inches, is for 60 seconds. Okay? Now normal, this is considered when you're in combat, not just sprinting and running around. This isn't really combat movement. It is and it isn't. It would be combat movement if the two of them were pairing and fighting and moving this way. Like she could run in and hit someone and move to the side and disengage. So what I like to do is just 2-to-1 movement rate. These guys move 3, she moves 6. So I'm going to allow her to move very easily and deftly in front of these two and try to cut between the two and make these two guys lose their balance. So I'm going to have her do a dex check to see if she can pull that off. Her dexterity is 17 if I'm not mistaken. Yep, hers is 17. It's the 4th stat down from the top left. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1. So she is able to do that. Let's give a roll for these guys to see if they're like surprised and flat-footed or freaked out or if they lose their balance. And we're going to get rid of this here. Get these chicken scratches out of the way. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's close. I think this is a normal initiative situation where she can now in turn and engage these two. And I'm going to give these guys 2 more steps. Okay? Zosh is kind of rushing in, but he's here in the back. Mercedes comes rushing here. He just did a finishing attack and got the table in the way, so he's only going to be able to step here. Let's give 1, 2, 3, 4 for him. The druid's just going to take a peek in the room. Obscure is going to come take a peek in the room and stay with the party, and that's where they're going to stay. They're not going to advance into the room further. These two guys are booking it around the corner, and they're not going towards this doorway. They're not going that way. They're going this way, so they know where they're going, and I know where they're going too. So regular combat between Elafonisi and the 2 bugbears. What do the bugbears need to hit her? She's only AC 0. They need a 16. Let's give both these guys rolls simultaneously, okay? There's an 18 that's a hit and a 19 is a hit. They're using long swords. Okay, long swords are 1d8 damage. There's no additional bonus because there's no natural 20. Let's get 2 d8s going up here. I'd roll them at the same time. Damage on Elafonisi. She's taken 2 damage so far. 7 and 6 is 13. She's taken a total of 13 plus 2. She's taken 15 damage so far, okay? Those are nasty little cuts. Maybe a big nasty slash across the thigh. She only has 40 health, okay? I always have these characters max hit point. You have 40 health, you take 15 damage. So that's like maybe a fourth of how much damage you can take. Now's her chance to retaliate. I'm going to actually have her do something relatively heroic. I'm going to have her punch the guy on the left hand, and punch the guy on the right with the right hand. And I'm going to say, okay, if you're going to pull that off, you got to do a dex roll. If you get your dex or less, you can pull it off. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's 11, that's 15. So she makes a dex roll. So this is going to be for the left hand, a natural 20. Right hand, a 2. So the natural 20 is a complete stun on this guy. 1d6, 3 times 6 is 18 seconds. This guy is stunned, okay? The right hand completely misses. This guy goes clink and blocks it with a shield just in time for Zollars to close in the gap and skewer this guy from behind. He can only miss with a 1. The guy's flat-footed too. 3 still skewers him from behind. Zollars' damage against small-sized targets is you basically roll 2d8 and just add 1. You don't, and so 2d8. Oh, so a 3. So this guy hasn't taken any damage, right? He only's taken 3 damage, so he's only down to 12. Okay, he's still in the fight. He's going to take another swing at Elafonisi. So he's going to get 1 swing at her, and he only needs a 16 to hit her. Remember, she's AC. I need a robot that will understand what I say, and when I say Elafonisi's name, it switches to her character sheet. He needs a 16 to hit her, 11, so he completely misses. Now Elafonisi's going to turn, both hands go boom, boom, hit this guy 2 strikes right in the face. She needs a 14 to hit AC 0. She needs a 9 to hit AC 5. Ooh. So none of those are higher than normal. Those are regular damage hits. None of those are stuns. Okay. And her damage is 1d10 plus 3 on each hand. Okay. This plus 3 is 5. This plus 3 is 9. 9 and 5 is 14. The guy had 13 health left, so he's splattered. So she's done doing that. These guys have gone 1, 2, whoop, and they're gone. They're running down the hallway. In fact, they're yelling down the hallway, "Wake up, get the alarm," that kind of crap going on. So it's like, oh God, everything's going nutty and haywire. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to have Elafonisi and Zollars pursue into the hallway. Mercedes is going to rush down here as well and leap over these guys. I'm going to have Varenjar make sure that everything in the room is dead. He's not going to pursue. He's just going to go and double check and make sure everyone's dead. And Toll's going to come forward as well to help. The Druid's going to come into here. Obscure's going to come in. The Druid, we should lock the door. They mess with the door. The 2 of them try to close the door and bar the door and drag a bed in front of the door. So they're going to try to drag a bed to bar this door and lock it back so nothing comes from the flank. They got Varenjar protecting him. and these guys are all pursuing. So we're going to switch to the hallway map. Okay, actually you couldn't see what that was, did you? Let's go down here. Oh, you missed part of that. I won't repeat it too much, but the two bugbears, they're booking it this way. Okay, and they all filtered and they're chasing. So, and from your perspective, they're all going north. Okay, there's your north arrow there. So these guys are heading down the hallway and they're waving their arms, going, "Where's the alarm?" and being nuts. And they're just going to try to chase them down and kill them before it gets too late. And Mercedes in heavy plate mail, she's not going to move nearly as quickly as Zalaris, and certainly not as quick as the monk. So we're going to clear the board off here, and we're going to switch to this corridor battle that handles this area of the map over here. Okay, so just give me half a second. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's get the kids out of the way. That's what I like to call them. They're just children. Bugbears, not your good day. Not a good day for bugbears. Well, that's what happens when you're 3-hit dice junkers. It's always fun to plow through stuff. Who doesn't want to plow through stuff? I don't want someone to cast harm on me. Come on. All right. Let's get this board cleared off. Get these beautiful chicken scratches written off. Elafonisi still damaged. Remember, she's taken 15 health so far. I got that jotted down on the side. Melee. All right. Let me just grab the other map here. I've got a corridor map for this. Here we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the camera off and I'm going to draw a scene that you can't see because I'm evil like that. So there, you can't see that. You can look at those cool backgrounds. Let's go to, I'm going to draw something on the board real quick. And then when I'm done drawing it, I'll open it back up for you where you can see what's happening. And my producer says stop doing voice acting, so I'm going to stop doing that because it probably sounds stupid. All right. I'm almost done drawing this. You've got a door down here. Here's an arched opening. Long hallway like this. Another door here. Torch burning. Torch burning, arched opening. Let's get our baddies on the screen. Here's our two bugbears. They're going to run to here. And we have Elafonisi and Zalaris hot on their heels. You can't get away from Elafonisi. She runs too fast. She moves way too quickly. So we're just going to, this passageway slopes down like that. Oops. Another arched opening here. Sloping passageway this way. All right. Let's see if that's clear. Just going to pull this out of the way because we got doors that are closed and people can't see behind the doors. Let's get this camera back on for you so you can see. There we go. Not the most beautiful map in the world. So let's let you know what's going on. So once again, north for you is always the top. Okay? You always get to see north. And this is the passageway they came out of. These two bugbears are booking it. There's this large 20-foot wide opening here. I'll just put this 20 here like this. So the bugbears are going to try to turn and go up this corridor. There's a door here. There's also a door back here. If you can actually see that a little bit. And there's a door down the hallway, and this is a torch on the wall burning. And there's a sloping passageway that cuts off at a funky angle, and a big, beautiful arched opening here with a bunch of runes and carvings and stuff. It looks very nice, like dwarven workmanship. And we've got another torch burning here. All right, so combat for this sequence. They're trying to book it. They're trying to go this way. All right, if you know your map, you know which way they're headed. So let's just do this from behind. I'm going to have Elafonisi do 2 attacks on the guy in the back while moving. Since she moves so quickly, she doesn't have to have any negatives to hit or anything like that because she's a skillful fighter. In order to hit this AC 0 guys, she only needs, AC 5, but they're not using her shield, so I'm going to give them AC 6. So she needs an 8 or higher. And remember, if you had 5 that, if either one of these are 13s, the guys are stunned. There's a 1, a complete flub, and a 7. Does a 7 hit? 14. I said 8, didn't I? These are both misses. So she's still in pursuit. This guy's going to take another 2 steps. He's going to take 2 steps. She's here. Zalaris can't keep up. We're going to do this again. Do they want to turn and fight her? They're running down a passageway that leads up to the chamber that we were in the very beginning. The chamber that they think. Let's pull this up for you to take a look at. Do you remember the big room that we were in earlier? Right? Looks just about like this, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. This is the doorway to the Bugbear room. This passageway here, they're trying to run back into this room, thinking that their other Bugbear buddy. They had no idea what happened in this room earlier with the keeper being killed and all the orcs in the cages. As soon as they get to the top of the stairwell, though, it'll be interesting because they're going to find that everyone's dead. So I'm going to have them keep running. I'm not going to have them turn around and fight or anything like that. So I'm going to put both of them here, and I'm going to put Mercedes here, and Zalaris is going to come here and stop, thinking that Mercedes can be able to nail him. So I'm going to give her 2 more hits to these guys. No shield. AC 0, you need a 14. To hit AC 5, that's, what is that number? 5 is 7, right? Is that right? My brain's going dead on me. Okay, AC 5 means she's a 9. They're not defending. She needs an 8. So she needs 8s to hit these guys. There we go. That's the stun. This guy's down. He's going to be killed easily, but she's going to leave him stunned. Zalaris will come up from behind and kill him. This guy keeps running and trying to get away. She's going to give her 2 attacks on him. There's a 16. That's a stun. This guy gets stunned as well. She stops him from running. And then she'll be able to finish him off and just grab him by the neck and go pop, just pop his neck. So he's dead. So they're able to get him, run back down to the corridor. This guy's dead. Skewers him flat-footed, unconscious. I'm not even going to roll the stun duration for this, not even necessary. And remember, Mercedes comes whipping into the hallway as well at high speed. And Tola comes to the hallway as well. And Varenjar and Felcherna and Bubskira are securing in the other room. So they have a quick little conference about what to do, but they hear noises in the hallway. And I'm going to just give them a basic description. You hear a lot of grunting and roaring and yelling. It just sounds just like orc sounds that you heard previously. It sounds like excited orc sounds. You hear chains wrangling and changing. You hear walls being beaten on and tables being slammed on. And everything calms down here. And these 2 bugbears just got killed in the hallway, but they were hit with blunt punches. It was like they were slit, their throats were slit and they gurgled and screamed down the hallway. But they were raising the alarm when they read on the hallway. They were yelling for help. So that roused up what's behind these 3 doors. Mercedes says, let's take it systematically, rein it back in, get back to the defensive position here, and let's deal with this first doorway and check out this other passageway. So now I'm actually going to switch to another map for you to make sure everyone understands where we are. Let's clear this off real quick. Let's get rid of that. And we'll give you a better view of what we were talking about. And we can actually use the other map. The other map actually has this part drawn for you already. Make it a lot faster this way. All right. Let's pull this down here so you can see it better. Maybe a little closer. Okay, great. So everyone tactically reins it back in. Mercedes, Zalaris, Elafonisi, Cleric, Varenjar, Obscura, Druid. This room's secure. They're going to come back down here. Even though there's an arched opening that goes into this way, they don't even check that for right now. This torch is a torch over the archway. That's what this is right here. So she takes a look down here and she sees this massive, huge pile of rubble, like someone has intentionally blocked off the passageway. In fact, the stones don't look like they've been there forever, but maybe about a month. So there's a lot of dust and debris on, but there's no footsteps in the sand or any footsteps in the dust. So this has been blocked off almost on purpose, like a cave in on purpose. Maybe there's something down that way they don't want to do. But in her mind, she's like, whoever caused that cave in, it didn't happen 2 days ago. So we got a door here, and want Elafonisi to listen to hear noise behind the door and see what she can hear. So she takes up to the door. Everyone's really quiet. Oh, an 18. She says there's orcs. Easily 8 or 9 orcs behind this door. And without even further ado, she goes and takes the door and just yanks it open and takes a step inside. So now what we're going to do, we're going to do initiative roll. And we're going to have her step into the room. And we're going to could be able to do this. Could we do this right here? Yeah, we could do this right here. Could we do this here? Yeah, that's good. So we could just slip this out. We'll slip this under. And we'll just remove it. We'll move everyone's position here real quickly. Here we go. So you just take everyone. Need to be a guitar player. Let's put these guys back here. Put him back here. And hear a noise. Zalaris, Mercedes pulls the door open, steps inside, 1 foot here. He's behind her. He's behind her. Here's the crumbled in cave-in that you saw. And the room that they were in previously pretty much goes 10 feet back in the back this way. And this wall just keeps going back like this. Here's where the other pair of arched opening doors were. This is the room where the other Bugbear guards were sitting at a card table and playing cards. So just leave that there for context. That's where the double doors were that went to the other barracks room. Okay, just to give you a sense of where you are, this is the long hallway that has 2 more doors, maybe one here, and you have this double opening that's 20 feet wide, goes up that way. All right, there you go. Simple enough. She steps in the room. So what she finds in this room is there are orcs chained and manacled to the wall. Lots of orcs chained and manacled to the wall, and they're very agitated and very excited. And in the center of the room is a brazier that's burning. It looks like it's been lit in the past hour or 2, so it's burning really brightly. And these guys are roaring and yelling and making noise. Imagine just a bunch of apes going crazy at the zoo. They're really pissed off. Don't like the fact there's a thunderstorm coming. So we have 8 orcs in here all yelling and shaking, and they're all chained. So she takes a step in the room. This is one thing that's really important to remember. In the first edition, they don't do many rulings for this, but it's an alignment thing. You know, some players like go and stab the first orc and kill it. Now they did eliminate some orcs earlier because they made a bunch of noise. So it's kind of like you have to balance this. When you're lawful neutral, right? Your perspective on life is some things happen because you deserve it. Some things happen because it's just chaos. But when you're lawful neutral, there needs to be a valid reason to do something, whether do something good or do something evil. In this situation, if they're not making a lot of noise, she's not going to do anything with them. If they're making too much noise and they see her walk in the room and she goes like, and looks at them like that, I'm going to give them a reaction. And the reaction is whether they get very quiet, they have to roll a 5 or higher on 3d6 to be brave. Actually, let's make it 10 or higher on 3d6 to be brave. No, they're totally terrified and intimidated from her, so she comes in the room with her 2-handed sword holding it, and then Zollers comes right behind her with the burning glaive. They all like quiet down and shrunk away in fear. And she holds her finger to her lips like, don't make any noise, and then she slips back out of the room, and she closes the door back. And Elafonisi slips in here, and then she takes a look and sees the orcs, and then she comes back out. There's just a room full of orcs. So what can we do about it? She comes to Obscura, says, what can you do about that? She says, well, I tell you what. Let me think about that for a second. These guys make noise. They're banging around. They're banging around their chains. Let's just jam this door closed and maybe spike it closed, and that way no one can get in and no one can open the door. And them making noise is not out of the ordinary. So in her opinion, she's like, just leave them there. They're not going to do anything. They're not going to try to attack us. They may make a bunch of noise, but they make noise all the time anyway, so it's not out of the ordinary. She says, I agree with you. That sounds like a good plan. Let's get down to this next door. Kid, get up here. So she tells Elafonisi to come up here and hear noise. At this point, Vrenjar filters his way through the crowd, and he's going to come up here and go check up ahead. So let's do a couple quick checks. If you're sitting at my table, I'll make you check for this, okay? So I'm going to give Vrenjar a move silently check. He's not trying to hide in shadows. He's just moving silently. And MS for him is 83%. That's a 27, so he's completely moved silently up against this door. I'm going to give him a hear noise check. He can't really tell what it is, but he can tell there's orcs in there. I'm going to give her, she's not moving silently, but she's just going to hear noise as well. A 77, she can't tell. She's more orcs in here and more orcs in here. So Mercedes comes to here and says, it looks like this loops back up to where we were. Zollers comes up to where she is. Obscura is over here. Here's Antola. And the druid comes to here, and the druid and Antola spend a minute pounding this door closed. So she can tell there's something behind here and there's something behind here. So, what should we do about that? Should we go in there? Should we leave it alone? Let me just double check my notes here real quick, see what I have going on in this room. This is rooms 9, 10. We're just in 11. If you got your own book, you can follow along. So, I tell you what. Silently open a door. Hide in shadows. Silently open a door. We'll douse these torches in the hallway. And look in there and tell me what's in there. And give us a report. We don't need to all go in there if there's more orcs. So, Vrenjar was already moving silently. He's like, no problem. He just give them a hand signal. They all step back. They all step back this way. Looks like the door swings in. This door swings in this way. Let me just double check that door swing direction. Here we go. This door swings in this way. This door swings in this way as well. All right. Give me a hide and shadows check for Vrenjar. HS for him is 68%. 62. Completely hidden in shadows, already moving silently. Slips into the room, disappears from view. Same thing for Mercedes. Her stats are the same. All right. Oh my goodness. Is that a 10? Wow. Slips into the room, disappears from view. So everyone's waiting. What's going on? Quiet. A second later, Rindra slips out, closes the door back. She does the same thing. Comes out, closes the door. There's more orc slaves in here. They're unarmed, they're beaten up, they're bloodied, they're manacled to the floor. I don't think it's worth our time to even go in there and do anything. They're not going to know anything. They're just going to make a bunch of noise. And just by the time this happens, I tell the whole party, let's roll for initiative, kids, because somebody's coming up from behind you. It's like, oh, who's coming up from behind us? Just a flat-out 3d6 versus 3d6. Bad guys, good guys. The bad guys roll a 5. The good guys roll a 10. So a 5 versus 10. So what's happened here? The druid looks to the left. The Untola looks this way too. And guess what they see? They see this big, overconfident bugbear with, oops, let's use the bugbear models for this, guys, with 4 goons with him. Bugbear goons. They look like lieutenants, let's just call them that. And they come charging forward. Okay? But the party won the initiative. So I'm going to ask the player, you're the druid? What are you going to do? If I'm the druid, I think the first thing I'm going to do is cast Entangle. 1 segment spell, boom, right here on the spot. So basically what Entangle spell does is that any kind of plant life in the area will just come up out of the ground. And there's not a lot of plants here. This is a dungeon. So what I'm going to do is say that like vines from undergrowth and from trees above, from the levels above, or those roots are going to crack up to the cracks in the floor and just try to grab this. Literally like the root spell in EverQuest. But what I'm going to give these guys a save versus spell, okay, as if they were fighters, okay. So I'll just pull this over here real quick for you to see. Just so you can look at your saving throw table. So if you were a fighter and you're level 3, these guys are level 5. So these are like elite versions of the Bugbears. To save versus spell for them, they only need a 14. They need a 14 or higher. That's how the saving throw works, not less. Not like some other checks. So this guy needs a 14. Everyone else needs a 15. It's harder for them. So let's do this all individually, okay? So the Bugbear captain and 4 Bugbear lieutenants. Bugbear captain, he needs a 14 or higher. He fails. I'm going to do this. I'm going to root him in place with this magnet. And let's do this first guy here. He needs a 15 or higher. Fails. Root in place. 15 higher for this guy. 5. Fails. Root in place. Let's do this guy here. 7. Huh. It's not going too good. Not a good day to be a Bugbear guard. And the last guy, a 14. Did I say they need a 14? These guys needed 15s because they were the lieutenants. So she immediately casts a spell and Tola swings back to the side. Obscura's like this. Oh my goodness. Zalaris comes rushing forward. They won the initiative, but the entire initiative round was people didn't want to bump the druid while she's doing this spell. And in fact, I think she's going to do something nasty here. Let's get the saving throw out of the way. Whoops. Let's get that out of the way. You just gotten caught flat-footed. You felt responsible for what's going on. You can't really cast Call Lightning in the interior location like this. No, she's not going to do that. She's not going to do that at all. She's just going to rush forward and take a swipe at this guy with her scimitar. Obscura is going to take a sidestep and think about casting a spell. If you were playing Obscura character, what would you cast? I think she's going to cast a Hypnotic Pattern. So Hypnotic Pattern is an illusion spell that has a bunch of colors and mesmerizing shapes and stuff move around in the air, and it basically like hypnotizes you. So these guys are going to need to save against spell again to be affected by Hypnotic Pattern. And that means if you're affected by Hypnotic Pattern, it's just like someone can just do a coup de grace on you and just kill you in one shot. So let's do the first guy. It's going to be the same save versus spell that we had before. He needs a 15 or higher. He fails. So how can we mark this? How can we mark this? I tell you what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. We don't use a lot of D12s, do we? So the D12 means, let's put a 1 up there, right? Let's just put a D12 up there. He's hypnotized. This guy here, they're going to need 16s or higher. There's a 10. He's going to be hypnotized. And let's give this guy the back a roll. 16 or higher. That's a 10. He's going to be hypnotized as well. Let's put another D12 on him. This guy, 16 or higher. 13. Wow, these guys are fail rolls. Not a good day to be a Bugbear. The guy in the back, even if he doesn't get hypnotized, he'll morale break for sure. 16 or higher. 3. So now you've got all of them are rooted in place, and they're all hypnotized. So the druid's just going to take a step forward, and I'm actually going to give her a d20 roll. And she only has to roll a 1 to flub this. She rolls a 10. She immediately slices this guy and kills him right there on the spot. He's dead. No reason to roll any damage. Completely unable to defend himself. Just cuts his throat. You can even just put the weapon up against his neck and just slice it. It would just kill him. So he's dead. And then the Zalris is going to come forward and skewer this guy here. Just need to roll a d20, make sure he doesn't make a mistake or anything. There's a 1, so he does make a mistake. So in this situation, what I'm going to say happens, he jams him with this glaive and does damage, but it breaks him out of the hypnotic pattern. So the damage done by Zalris on small is 2d8 plus 1. Let's get our 2 8-siders up here. 5, 6, 7 plus 1 is 8. And these guys are 25 health. So that only puts him down to 17. So he's out of it. So he's no longer hypnotized, but he can't move. So he can't fight effectively. He can't move around and because his feet are entangled by roots. So I'm going to allow him to actually take a swing back because he's in range and he's like irritated that he's held in place and he was hypnotized for half a second. And then someone jammed him. He's in searing, burning pain. He just goes, blah, and takes a swing back at Zalris right away. So to hit AC 0, these guys need a 15 to hit AC 0, but Zalris is -1, so he needs a 16 to hit Zalris. A 17, so it does hit him. And these guys are going to hit for 1d8 damage as well, because these are the lackeys. The main guy would hit much harder. 1d8 as a 4. Let's get Zalris' damage down here as a -4. Okay. Let's do a return strike. Now, Obscura's cast a spell. She needs to maintain the hypnotic pattern, so she's almost like needs to keep channeling it like this. The druid's going to go ahead and step forward and slip around here and perform a coup de grace on this guy here to see if she wakes him up. He'll roll a 1 is the only way that would happen. Okay? An 18, this guy's dead. And then she's going to systematically take a step forward. Now, she's walking past him. He can have an attack of opportunity. I'm going to let him do it anyway because I'm being nice. He could just take a lunging swing, but if he does that, he opens his flank up. So to hit the druid, she's got her shield and she's actively defending herself. It's not like she's going to walk blindly past the guy and let him take a swing at her. She's AC 0. These guys need a 16 to hit AC 0. He takes a swipe at her with his big long sword. She just moves out of the way and blocks with her wooden shield. And then she jams her sword into the guy directly in front of her. Let's just roll a d20 for her execution move. A 3, that's fine. This guy drops. He's dead. When you can't defend yourself, you're out of there. And then Zalris is going to take a swipe at this guy. Can only miss on a 1. 15. And it's 2d8 plus 1. And this guy was down to 17. Okay, that's a 5. That's a 6. That puts him down to 11. Let's jot that down real quick. This guy's still going. He's still going pretty good. With this fighting going on, Mercedes will come barging into the room at high speed. These two are going to watch the doorway and maintain protection. The druid, the cleric's going to move here. She's having to maintain the spell. Elafonisi's not going to abandon her post. Mercedes comes around the corner and takes a look and see what's going on here. And the druid comes forward and takes another stab at this guy here. Let's roll a d20. A 2. So I'm going to say that she actually wakes him up. You know, it's not a 1. I'm going to say she hits him and damages him enough. But I'm going to give her double damage on the roll, okay? That's because it wasn't a 1. So let's get 2d8 going. Where's our other 8-sider? Here we go. 2d8. Now, it's just a scimitar, which I treat as a longsword, by the way. That's 15 damage. This guy has 25. That will wake him up. I'm going to give him a retaliatory strike on her. He's here. He's no longer rooted. He's still rooted, but he's not hypnotized. Let's get these out of the way. What does he need? He's AC 0. He needs a 16. Okay? A 7. So he takes a swing at her and misses. I'm going to give her a chance to swing back. A 3, she misses him. So they're having a melee like cling, ching, ping, and hit each other's weapons. Zalris is going to continue attack on this guy here in front of him. Can only miss on a 1. That's a 2. 2d8 plus 1. 5, 6, 7, 8. This guy's down to 8 health. This one Bugbear Lieutenant's doing great. He's not doing too bad. He's got 8 health left. Not going to live much longer. I'm going to have Mercedes, this is a 10-foot wide passage, come forward and take her 2-handed weapon and just cleave this guy right in half with the overhead and swing. Yeah, so that's going to wipe him out. There's no way he's going to live through this with 8 health left unless I roll 1s. So her damage, let's just pop her up again real quick so you can see. There you go. 1d10 plus 5. Ready? 10 damage. This guy had 8 left. He's cleaved in half and splattered and blood goes everywhere. So the druid's actually going to position herself here and then take a swing at this guy. I'm going to let him swing back at her again. To hit AC 0, he needs a 16. The Druid's actively defending because the guy's woken up. A 1. That's not a very good roll, dude. It's a complete flub off balance. I'll take away 2 armor class for him. And now she just needs to hit him normally. To hit AC 0, she needs a 12. He would normally be armor class 5, which would give her on a 7 or higher roll. I'm going to make it a 5 or higher now. So the 18, that's plenty of hit damage there. 8 damage. This guy's down to 11. That puts him at 3. He's really wounded. Everyone's stepping in the room. I'm going to have Mercedes take a step forward, have him take a step forward, and both take a swing at him. Here's Mercedes' roll. 17. There's Zala's roll. Both of those are hits. So Mercedes is 1d10 plus 5, if I'm not mistaken. So there we go. 1d10 plus 5. This guy has 3 health left. He's dead. Boom. Wiped out. So the guys that were woken up from another passageway come zipping in from behind, trying to be stealthy, which they made a good check for that earlier behind the scenes. You may have noticed I did that roll. Like, why did you do a roll there for it? So these guys have all been wiped out. So they're all going to come in this room, kill everyone, pull everyone back. Everyone come back in this room here. Come into here. Everyone comes back in this room. She's like, kid, watch the door. The Druid, watch the door here. All right, so what's going on here? Listen, I'm not finding anything. Search those bodies. So they search the bodies, and on the Bugbear leader, they find the funky, goofy, weird key, which is like this long piece of metal with a little handle on it like this. It comes forward. It's got these weird, funny grooves like this. And they're going to take this key. It looks like something like a spatula turned on its side. Like a normal key would kind of look like this, right? This is what this weird thing looks like. He's got rope on the end of it, and it's like a hall pass or something from elementary school. So they found the key on him. They have a bunch of gold pieces and junk. They don't even care about that. They're going to take all this back up to that room where the prison was and re-engage in conversation with the other characters there and see if they get the doors open, first of all, see what happens. Will the key even work? Because some of those doors were jammed. So let's get all this nastiness off the screen here. And we're going to switch maps all the way back to the prison room, okay? We're not going to do the interstitial room or anything like that. Not a good day to be a Bugbear. They don't pay them well anyway, so what'd you expect? All right. Let's get this chicken scratching out of here. Where's my eraser? Here we go. And we're going to zip this map out from underneath here. And our prison cell map is over here. Noisy maps. All right, here we go. And we're going to do it this way. There we go. Remember the prison? Remember what was in the prison? We were in here a little while earlier. Do you remember the darkness? Darkness Brothers. All right, here's the darkness. That's from before. You gotta have memory. There is some nastiness in this one area here. Corpses that stink piled up in a pile. There was this dwarf engineer fella here. There was this girl with 2 decapitated legs. And there was this other guy curled up in a fetal position in this one cell. So Mercedes grabs the key, and they all come zipping back into this corridor. The torches are burning. She's got this key, and she's going to try to use the key. Let's get the rest of the party in the room first. She's like, I want to use the key on the door. Wait till everyone gets there. Here's the cleric. Here's Zalaris. Let's have the druid come to here. Elafonisi comes to here. Elafonisi was trying to help her earlier. Vrinjar's going to stay outside. Obscura is going to stay outside of Vrinjar. She feels confident that he's going to protect her. All right. So Mercedes has the key. She's lifted the key from the Bugbear captain, and she tries to click it into this mechanism. And she slips it in and click, and the door just swings wide open. This guy comes hobbling out. And he's like, oh, great. And remember, one of his legs is really, really messed up. Like I said earlier, he's in a motorcycle accident type of a thing. Like someone crushed his legs. This guy can hobble around. He's got a wound that's wrapped up with bandages. He can't really move much. So this cage kind of swings open like this, and they can close the cage back and get out of the way. So he's like, oh, thank you so much for saving me. This is fantastic. I owe you so much. And she's like, here's what we need you to do. We need you to show us where you saw all those drow males. He's like, well, what about these others? Do you know them? He's like, I don't know who either of them are. I don't know who the elf is. They chopped her legs off. This other fella, he's been out for weeks. He could be still dead. So let's open the gate. She takes the key, hands it to Zalaris. He comes over and sticks the key into this gate here, opens this gate, comes into the room, tries to rouse this person. This person's just laying on the ground, and as he rolls him over to the side, he realizes that his whole underbelly is covered with gangrene and infection, and he actually stinks, as if he flies into this guy, it's actually dead. It just looked like he was laying down. They come over and they open the gate for her, come into here, and she open the gate and try to let her out, but she can't move. The druid decides to cast Cure Critical Wounds type of a spell on her. Let's play this by the book, right? I think it's serious for her. Cure Serious Wound. Let's give her a 3d8 roll for that. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 damage. Heals her up, but she can't walk. She doesn't have legs. You can't replace legs with a healing spell. Okay? So the druid's going to spend time in this cage, in this prison cell, helping this elf, talking to her as best she can. This person is traumatized. So they are almost literally insane, on the verge of going insane. They have no power, no will to survive. Elafonisi is not lawful good. Feltrina is not lawful good. No one in the party is lawful good. They can provide her with something that she could hobble her way out of here, but they're not going to take her with them. No one's going to pick her up and throw them on their back or help her. The dwarf doesn't even know who she is. So what we're going to do, I'm going to give the party a reaction, kind of a decision. Like, do you help her to safety because it's the right thing to do? Remember, you're lawful neutral, okay, and Vrindar is neutral evil. Or do you provide her a means to escape on her own? So there's no crutches or anything laying around. You don't just hand her a crutch or a wheelchair. So here's how I'm going to roll this, okay? I'm going to roll a d20. I'm only going to give it a 25% chance they do a goody two-shoes act. So if I roll a 6 through 20, they just give her what they can, and they're going to have to leave her and get on with it, okay? Just ready for that roll? Here we go. It's 19. So that's kind of like, well, you know, we're on a mission. We're trying to find the abducted child. We can give you some food. We'll give you a weapon. Make sure your wounds are taken care of, but you're going to have to find your own way out of here. Maybe give her like a spear that they found in one of the other rooms in the other room, and give her a rope, give her something she can ramshackle and have a cane and kind of drag herself along, but she's not, and she's like, I'm just going to have to rest here and figure out some kind of way to get out. So they have to leave her behind. They did everything they can for her, and everyone's going to move back into this corridor, into this, not corridor, but this larger room, okay? Leaving her behind. He's going to come back out. So we're going to switch maps real quick, okay? The orcs don't even know what's happening. It's in the darkness. They're too stupid to realize what's happening. And this stinky business can stay here too. Don't need this character anymore. He's dead, Jim. Let's go back to our other room. This will just take a half second. I got the map right here. Get rid of that. So remember this room? We were here for a long time before. Here we go. All right, get this chicken scratch out of here. So they have no person with them in the party, but he's not like a high movement rate, ready to fight, rough and tumble dwarf. This isn't like Big Block Chevy or somebody. This is this guy's wounded, so he's gonna come over here and sit down in the chair. They're all gonna kind of stand around him, and they're gonna have a little conversation about what they know and what he knows. So he's like, listen, I can tell you what I know, but just give me a weapon and I'll find my own way out of here. I know how to get out of here, and it's not any of these directions. So they ask him about what's down that way, okay? And he tells them, when you go down this way, there's a bunch of new passageways they've been having me help them work on. They've been clearing the rooms out for new stuff, for storage, for loot, for booty, for wagons, for captured prisoners, more orcs. There's even a little spring down there. I think I'm going to go to the spring and try to escape by swimming out of here. I'm not going to take a chance going upstairs. They exchange a tale of what happened, how they wiped out the entire Great Hall, how Chief Nosra and his wife and the sub-chief and the cloud giants. She wants to know tell me about these Drow. Tell me what happened. He says, the hill giants had the baby wrapped up in cloth, pretending like it was a bundle. They all rallied in this room here. The Drow arrived. The Drow came from this passage here. There's a secret door here. You can see it clear as day. And they use this room as a rallying point between taking slaves, moving them to work, bringing them back, setting them here, moving them to be fed. So this is kind of like a thoroughfare area. He says, those Drow, they came in here. There's a party of males. They took the child and they went that way. I know that for a fact. That was less than 2 days ago. So that's what they need to know about that. What about the rest of the area? He says, well, I've got some comrades down this way. They're being forced to do armors and armors for these hill giants. I know they're under the gun with some fire giants. Maybe you could help them, but right now I just want to get out of here. So he's like, I tell you what, we're going to give you, there's plenty of cash in here. There's money left all over the place. help yourself to whatever the money is. But if you leave the area, I suggest you go back to Molvar and Ket. Let's just remind you where we're talking about. Remember our storyline? So Molvar is right down here. So if you look at my mouse cursor here, there's Molvar. This is where the party has rallied from. This is where the child was stolen from. So they're going to, Mercedes is going to take Obscura is going to take a piece of paper along with Antola, and they're going to scribble on the piece of paper. Here, I'm going to write you this quick letter. Blah, 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 from blah, blah, Obscura. Introduce this guy. What's your name? And say his name is Durtar or something. Durtar. Introduce you. I want you to go see this person. Provide as much help as you can to him. You take this. I suggest you don't swim with this in your pocket, because if you do, all the ink's going to run. So that's fine. So she scribes up a letter of introduction. At the same time, I don't really know you and I can't trust you, but if you deliver this letter, you tell them that we're on it and we're still working on it. So he agrees. They say, if you go this way, you can probably get out, go up these stairs. This will go up and lead to another area you can probably escape by. So he's like, okay, let me just catch my breath and rest. We're going to go back this way. So the party decides that they're going to move and backtrack this way, that the clue they might have missed. He warns them about the manticores that are behind the cages. He says they may have done something back there, I'm not sure. And he's going to actually try to get himself out of here. So, one more room to go and we're done for the day. Our next, and we'll do another session some other time real soon. So let's just switch maps one last time, and we'll wrap this up. Let's get the kids off. And we're going to return to this room that we had before, which I actually got on another table. Bear with me while I grab that map. Okay. This is the room that when we first came downstairs. I'm going to pull this out like that more. There we go. So let me just walk you through this real quick. So that secret door came through here. Excuse me, down through here. So the secret door dumps in through this room. This secret door goes like this. This is the secret door that leads to the room you were just in, the large room. This is the way they first came down, which this goes up to the chief's room. If you may remember that from the very first floor. Let me put this headset down here so you can hear a little better. So remember they had a Drow campfire. They determined to be the Drow were sitting here in sleeping bags and resting here. This guy talked about how the child went back through this way as well. They decided to come back in this room, and there was also a bunch of manticores behind some bars here, caged. They're going to come into this area here, and they're thinking about checking this out again. They're also thinking about, did we miss anything in this room? So they're having this conversation. Everyone just re-enters the room, and then we're going to see what happens here from there. We'll play it out. So we're going to have the Druid, Vrinjar, Elafonisi, Obscura, Mercedes. I'll put Vrinjar over here. He's interested in this. Elafonisi comes with him. Obscura is interested in the middle. Thosh going to stick with a sibling. She's like, those aren't animals. I can't. Behind the cage here, they would cast a darkness spell, but it's dissipated by now. So she calls Obscura over. She's like, is there anything you can do to get these manticores to stop slamming against the cages? So you may not remember this. Give you a quick little reminder that there was 4 nasty manticores, almost as if they were insane and starved to death, slamming and biting and bashing against this huge iron set of gates. But you can't really get into the room. And she didn't really see a way to, there's a door that you could open, but they're not open the door. They just made them silent by casting darkness over this before. And the druid's like, there's nothing I can do. They're clearly underfed and insane. These are monsters. I can't communicate with them. So Mercedes is like, if we could just wipe them out and get out of there, we can check behind these gates and see if there's another passageway that's hidden away down here. But she said, but Obscura says, yes, but at the same time, did we miss something in this room here? That's where we found the infinity chain. So which option is it going to be? Let's give them a 50% chance. We'll do it with a d20 to keep it fun. 1 through 10, take care of the manticores. 11 to 20, go check out Chief Nosra's treasure trove again. You ready? Okay, Chief Nosra's treasure trove room. So they all agree, yep, okay, with much reservation. Mercedes doesn't really like that decision, but they're all going to go back into this area here. So he opens the secret door, comes into here. Remember, there's a pit on the ground, and we're going to pull that map up for you real quick. And everyone's going to gather in that room, which I've got right over here. I'll be right back. I'm going to grab it. So, think about all the information they would have gleaned from the dwarf fella, the engineer that's being forced to help them do some architecture and passageway construction. Hill giants are not smart. They're not smart at all. Like, we kill, you know. So, when the whole party's going to reconvene in this room, and we'll zoom in a little closer and make it more fun. Remember, there was a pit door trap that Vrenjar disabled here. I'm just going to draw it because it's still, you got to jump over it. I'm not going to do any dramatic checks here for anyone to jump over it. They come back in their room, and they're all gathered in this room. It's a pretty big room. This is like 20 feet wide. Okay, this is a big master suite. Everyone gathers back in the room here. And they talk about what happened. What do we know? What can we do? And Obscura says, you know, I think we have enough information now to use the infinity chain. And let's just zoom this in a little closer. So how do you know? How do you know it's a good time to do it? There we go, a little closer. I feel like you're really there. Nice and blurry. So you can see over here. So remember, the infinity chain was this long type of rope like this. And it had this, each end was like a nasty, loath spider head with mandibles made out of jewels, like a jewelry carved. And it had this like black filament with links like a fancy men's watch would be, really shiny. And then it had intermittent these silver little spikes on it, and when they messed with it, it would coil itself into the shape of infinity. Sounds like something from a Tom Hanks movie, doesn't it? So what would happen is these two spider pieces, like two magnets, right? Almost imagine, you know, two magnets. You see these two magnets are the way they just kind of snap together. It's like they would snap together like that, and they would form this chain with the two spider jaws biting each other in the middle. So Obscura is the person that has this item in her possession. She's like, well, I'll tell you what. Let's put it on the table. If you were Chief Nosra, this is your big table. Here's your cool hideaway with all your magic items, your flaming swords that we broke in half and threw in the pit, and your chest full of all your gold and treasure. No one comes in here but you and maybe your wife. You've been making a deal with the Drow. They're paying you off. Maybe they give you guaranteed rights to do raiding in the area. Maybe they're going to send you to do other jobs. You've got this infinity chain. The letter said use the infinity chain. I think we should take a chance and just do it. I don't think we're going to find anything else here in this Steading, in this fortress, that's going to help us in any way. Because all we're finding now, remember the letter, okay? All we're going to find now is more Bugbear guards and orc slaves and underground passages and stuff like that. So a house he'll serve. Instructions were do not kill child. There's going to be a sacrifice. Use the infinity chain. And she pulls out the map one last time. We also found the stone giants that we intercepted in their backpacks. They had this map to the glacial rifts of the frost giant Jarl. I think we should go for it. Let's just use the infinity chain. Okay, decision time. Twice now in the adventure has Mercedes said, let's kill everything. I'm going to reduce her chance to succeed on this. I'm going to make her make a d20 with a -10 roll to match her charisma. Let's get back to her. Even though she's done the command really well, the odds of her convincing people for the third time to continue to scour and kill everything in the whole dungeon is getting at a disadvantage now. So she needs to roll her charisma is 17. I'm going to give her -10 on that. So she needs to roll a 7 or less to be strong-willed and argumentative enough to convince the other ones, but they're going to get a check too. So she rolls a 9. So she's not convincing with her argument. But Obscura is the one that thinks we should use this, and Elafonisi, and you'd have Mercedes and Obscura standing here, and the cleric and the tiger nomads would probably take a step back for this conversation. Obscura says, I think we should do it. I think we should go for it. I don't see there's any harm in it. In fact, if you want to, I'd be willing to go and do it right now. We can cast some protection spells first, and then try using this infinity chain, as long as we don't touch it, because it looks like it would bite you. So Obscura's charisma is 16. I'm gonna give her a +5. I know that sounds very, very lenient. Okay, +5. So only if she rolls a natural 20 will she fail her argument. Nope, 19. That's really, really, really close though. So the party agrees, and they're going to follow Obscura's plan. So here's what they do. Obscura takes the infinity chain out of her pouch, and she uses a dagger to hold it. So imagine like, you're holding a dagger with this chain. Imagine like your earbuds being the chain. She's going to hold this thing like this and hold it and just try to set it down on the table and just let go of it, right? And then let it kind of wiggle around and do its own thing. So you put this thing down on the ground. It wiggles into this figure 8 pattern that you see right here in front of you. And when it does that, it starts glowing. All right? So she's going to come forward and then tell us, so how do you use it? Well, if you were a Hile Giant, what would you do? Maybe just grab it with both hands? But if the two mandible type spider things are on the edge, and Vrindra takes a step forward, if those things are snapped together in the middle and they're biting each other, if you hold the thing apart, you just hold onto it, maybe you'll open a portal or something. But if you're sitting at the table and you were to use it, would it do something? Would it make a passageway in the wall? So they start deducting this real quick. And she says, I think we should just try it. And Vrindra says, let me try it. She says, no, I don't know about that. No, let me try it. I'll do it. I'm not scared. Well, he was totally scared before, but after hearing them talk about it, he said, I'll be willing to try it. She says, no, I think that, and Tola's like, listen, I'll go first. Let me grab this thing, and I'll try it first. So he goes forward, and he grabs this thing with one hand, and then he grabs it with the other hand, and the moment he puts both hands in the rings, almost like all those rubber exercise rings, he disappears in a flash of light. And then the infinity chain that he had in his hand just goes clunk and falls to the ground. And it still then unravels and unhooks itself and unravels back into its position again. It's like, oh my goodness, everyone takes a step. It's like, whoa, what the hell just happened? Mercedes like, oh my God, where's Antola? What have you doing? What's Obscura? What's happened to him? So she takes a step forward. She's like, no, don't worry. Let me show you. Do the same thing that I do. So she lifts the chain up again, sets it on the table. It's the two loaf mandibles bite each other. They form this infinity shape. She says, just grab the two ends, but leave it over the table so when you're done grabbing it, it just falls back on the table in the same pattern, because when it's sitting down on a flat surface like this is when it makes the shape. Does everyone understand? She tells everyone, yeah, I understand. Everyone understands. She goes up to it, and she grabs this side and this side. So you put your hand here, right? So here's your hand. Here's your thumb. You grab this hand here. Here's your hand. Here's your thumb. So you hold it like that, like you can do a workout, like it's a rubber band thing. You're going to stretch like this. So she does it, and whoosh, flash light, she disappears. Mercedes looks back. He's like, I'll go next. And Drew's like, I'll go next. Then he goes, he grabs it, whoosh, he disappears. And then the Druid goes, and then she disappears. And then Elafonisi goes. Zollars takes up the rear. She goes next. Then Zollars goes, and he disappears. Mercedes here's the last one. And then she goes, and then she grabs it, and then she disappears. And so the party is swept away immediately to some strange location. There's all this crazy whirling and spinning, black web-like dreams and visions assail their eyes. It's like being in a dream state. And I'm just going to draw this real quick. So they find themselves in this frozen cave, and facing the exact same direction that they were facing is this beautiful wooden chair, but it's the size of something that a frost giant would sit in. Huge, massive. And along the wall here is this massive tapestry, and here's all these weapons. This is a cavernous space. Huge weapons and shields on the wall, and this cave kind of goes around the corner like this. And everyone has appeared, almost like being beamed down in Star Trek, I hate to say it. Everyone has appeared at like a particular spot, standing, and if they look down the ground, there's marks on the ground like this. And then the infinity chain is at this end, sitting on the ground in front of them. So immediately the temperature is really, really cold. I'm going to have everyone just roll a quick little d6 here. Excuse me. Let's do an initiative roll. That's a really high roll. That's a 12. So nothing comes running into the room, but the room is frozen with ice. There's stalactites hanging down. There's no stalagmites coming up, but there's stalactites coming down. This is the size of a person standing here, right? And you got this cave, and it's about this way tall here. So if you're a big frost giant, your head would be way up here, right? So their head isn't like jammed against the ceiling or anything. But in front of them is this big, beautiful table and this huge map. And the map shows a map of the entire glacial rift, which will pull that map up for you again. It's the same copy as the map you had before. So now I think they're onto something. So the map is almost the same thing as this, but without the Drow writing on it. But the markers for the skulls are much larger. And it has a little X here. And here's what it shows. Let's just do it this way. So it shows where you are right now as being right about here. Okay? So everyone decides to get on high alert and check the area out before we do anything else. First thing that's going to happen, hide in shadows, hide in shadows. The druid and the monk and the rogue are going to hide in shadows right away and start moving silently before anything else even takes a step. Let's get another D10 up here. Let's do Varenjar, and then we'll do Elafonisi. We'll just pull Varenjar up because they both have the same roll. So hide in shadows, HS, 68%, 78. He thinks he's hidden, but he's not. Elafonisi, she easily hides in shadows, moves silently for Varenjar. Easily done, 17. And a 96. So she's not quiet, but she's concealed, but he's quiet, but he's not concealed. And they come around to here, and what they see, the sound of the wind really starts whipping by, and what they see is this massive trail that goes down like a frozen glacier of frozen ice with lots of footprints and tread marks. And you come here, and this is all fresh snow. No one stepped over this way. In fact, there's boulders blocking this part off. But there's lots of footsteps going down this way, and there's scrape marks too, as if something's been scraped and dragging a dump down this way here. And we're going to zoom this map out a little bit because you can't quite see what I'm sketching there. There we go. Now you can see better. So this is all blocked off of boulders. This is like a huge tall valley wall, and this is a bunch of scrape marks, and this is like a sliding frozen icy passage, but it's in a little valley. It's a little canyon, and this is a cave. So this is a cave mouth that they're inside of, and this is just a little cave. So everyone else comes up to here, move around here, and come up to here. So take a look outside. The druid comes outside. The druid looks up at the sky. You look at the time of the day that it is. The druid says, I think we've lost a day. And everyone's like, what do you mean? Because it seems like it's about 7 in the evening. And when we were at the Steading the Hill Giant Chief, it was probably 7, 8, 9 in the morning. I think we've lost half a day, maybe 12 hours. It seems like it's late in the afternoon. In fact, it feels like the sun is going to be coming down soon. So what should we do? I think we should camp up in here, rest for the night, get all our spells ready, and replan what we're going to do to check this next area, because I think we're actually at the Glacial Rift. And everyone agrees. So everyone decides to go back into here. And how they're going to secure this area. So they're going to do a sleeper rotation with guards. So every 3 hours, someone's going to rotate between these three. They're going to play guard duty. Everyone else will get a good night's rest, and then they'll switch out the cleric and the druid. So we're going to wrap this episode up with this right there. So everyone's been transported. They defeated the Steading of the Hill Giant Chief. They can go back to it anytime they want here by using the Infinity Chain. But for right now, they're really excited about trying to catch up with the stolen child, the abducted child, and to see if there really has been transported here to the Glacial Rift of the Frost Giant Jarl. So hope you had fun with this episode. As always, it's always going to be up on YouTube. If you want to leave any comments or feedback or ask questions, that's great. I'll always try to answer them for you. Hope you're having a good time. And we've got another whole module. We're going to move on to G2 of the series of the classic modules. So good job, kids. I will also do experience, because when they've completed an entire adventure like that, a good 8 episodes worth of gameplay, probably like 12 to 14 hours of gameplay, it's time to give them experience. So when they're doing their resting, if they want to shuffle their spells, I'm actually going to readjust some of their spells. Some may level, some may not. If you look at the sheets during the course of the episode, you see at the bottom, I have them, they're all at the beginning level. So current experience for Mercedes is 1.25 million. Towards the next level, she only needs 255,000. For Zalaris, he only needs 255,000 because they're both fighters. Elafonisi needs 255,000. Varenjar only needs 150,000. Easy for the assassin to level up. Easy for the druid, only 100,000 experience to get to the next level. For the cleric, 225,000 for any level above level 9, if I'm not mistaken. And for Obscura, 220,000. So I'll go through all the stuff I've made notes on so far, distribute all the experience, and when we come back with these updated character sheets, we'll give you a quick update on that episode. And I hope you had fun, and we'll leave it at that. Have a great day. Have a fun 3-day weekend. If you're celebrating Columbus Day, if you have to work, sorry to hear that. And we'll talk to you real soon. As always, if you want to find out when the next episode is, come check out the Patreon page, or follow me on Twitter, or check our Facebook page out. I'll try to usually share that stuff ahead of time. All right, have fun. We'll talk to you soon.